on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television here on a happy
Hump Day
edition. How do we start off the sports web? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them. Three things. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, I have my co-host, Mr. Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show. We'll have Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay, of course, doing what else? Getting you ready for Tampa Bay Buccaneer football versus the New Orleans Saints for the NFC South. Are you ready to go? Are you pumped up tonight? I know this is a lot of Bucs fans say F the Saints week. I'm not going to say that word, but that's how a lot of Bucs fans feel. So I definitely want to hear from you tonight. What's your confidence level in this team? As always, we can also make the case that Baker Mayfield, that's right, Baker Mayfield, should be or could be in the conversation as the MVP of the league. We'll get into that as I talk to Sal Palantonio today on the JP Peterson show from ESPN, and also Mike Evans, why he believes that Mike Evans and what he's heard from league circles, because you remember this guy is pretty much locked in about Mike Evans and possibly re-signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll have Mr. J Buck himself on, of course, the guy, the fan, the super fan that got the ball from Mike Evans, got it signed. We'll have him on at 9:30. And then, of course, at 10:20, we will have Turnbuckle Talk, WWE, AEW action, and, of course, as always, your phone calls, because you are the lifeblood of what we do on this program. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to my co-host. Here we go. Mr. Harry the Greek, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend, as lots of stuff is going on right now. Not only talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, versus the Saints for the rights to win the NFC South, which is huge for this team after beating Jacksonville 30-12 last Sunday, but also the Wander Franco situation. As if you caught WFLA Channel 8, you would have been able to see the report. Yours truly was on there. We'll play that, and we'll give you the latest on that situation. So many things to talk about. And then Russell Wilson, there's things going on there. Welcome to the Sports Web, my friend.
Wander Franco.
Yes. What's with your sound? What did you do to your sound? What is that?
Nothing. That was just your figment of the imagination. It must be all that fake news we're watching.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's exactly what's happening. What's up, Peter? How's it feel to be in first place?
Well, it feels good, man. It feels really good. What's going on with your sound, though? Seriously, is
there anything wrong with my sound right now?
Yeah, there's something. It sounds tinny. I don't know. It's weird.
Is it tinny?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and reboot. I'll bring myself back, and you don't even have to introduce me. You already did that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that. I'll go ahead and bring him back in. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Yeah, I know what sounds good and what doesn't sound good, because I gave these guys the blueprint of how it's supposed to sound, and when it doesn't sound right, I'm a perfectionist on that. So open phone lines if you want to talk about not only the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Franco situation with the Rays. Let's go out to these comments first. Anthony Richardson, Colts Messiah. First, the only true fan of the Sports Web. Not true at all, but appreciate you, as always, for tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out. Roger's watching Bucs Report. No, he's not. Let's go out to William. How is this video live when it is dark outside right now? Well, I'm inside. So it's William, are you joking? Is that a joke, man? I appreciate that. I mean, are you talking about the Bucs intro? That's an intro, my friend. That's great, man. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the humor. Appreciate it. Anthony says, can we talk about the 85 Bears? Are you there?
Is that any better?
No, it's not. It's
really?
It's very tinny. I don't know what's going on. It sounds... Do you have all your lines on your camera there? Do you have your camera online?
Yeah, everything is on. Listen, I'm going to be right back. I think I know what it is.
Okay, stand by. Okay. See, there you go. All right. Got them trained up good. Anthony says, can we talk about the 85 Bears? I mean, I guess if you want to. What do you want to talk about the 85 Bears for? I mean, it's open phone line. It's up to you. 727-255 0391 at 727-255-0391. Talk about whatever you want to. I would prefer you talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but if you want to talk around the NFL, if you want to talk about the history of the NFL, feel free. Phone line is open. Evening, guys, says Christopher Cole. Ralph Williams, happy holidays. Peter and Harry, happy holidays to you. Roger says, hey, gents, happy new year. Lightning just scored, so that's always a good thing. Of course, when that's going on right now, Florida is leading 3-2, third period, 16-29. And who just scored? I'm looking. There you go. We got that going on right now. Mr. 23, that would be Mikey Esimont. Hopefully I pronounced his name. Reverb on Harry Sound. Absolutely agree. Good evening, everyone. By the way, Ben, it's been 5 years. We've been friends. I appreciate your friendship. Let's go out to Jeremy here. How about them red hot Bucks? Absolutely agree. 0-2 Bucks better than the 85 Bears. I think you could definitely make a case for that, as I've said it. But of course, everybody looks at the 85 Bears and the 2000 Ravens as the greatest defenses of all time, and they kind of discount the 0-2 Bucks. You know, that's kind of disappointing. So good point there, Jeremy. Appreciate the comment. Echo, absolutely. Byron says, Pete, what's the percentage scale on us bringing back MK13? And then let's go out to Anthony Richardson. Devin White is a phony. Trade him. Stop with the fake smiles. I tell you right now, he definitely played you-know-what off. In fact, Pro Football Focus had him at a 92.7, and it's about time. I even mentioned that in my monologue live from Raymond James Stadium. Of course, tune in every post-game edition in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show live from Raymond James Stadium. As I said, it kind of set the tone with Devin White. Let's start there. Let's see if your sound is good. Harry, are you there?
I am here, sir.
Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about right there. It
was something really stupid because
it always is.
I figured it out. I am genius, sir.
Well, I mean, you get like me, and you get to that point where if it's not the way it should be, and it sounds the way, and it doesn't look the way you want it, then you become a perfectionist and you become completely insane. And
it didn't do this during the sound check. That was just so odd.
I know it is. It is absolutely odd. All right, let's start out with Devin White, because I've been very critical of this defense, and I felt like I have a right. And of course, it goes back to the defensive captain of Devin White. The kind of game he had last Sunday, to me, really set the tone for this defense. Give me your thoughts once again on that win versus the Jaguars.
Everybody knows my thoughts about Devin White, but I have a question for you. Are we ready to re-sign him, or are we giving up on him? That's what I want to know. And I implore everybody to go ahead in the comments. Let us know. It's just simple. Keep him, don't keep him. Okay. Don't need an explanation. That's exactly what I want, because it doesn't make a difference what I'm going to say. I will tell you this, Bucs fans. You have a top 10 defense. The end. I don't care how many yards. Yards aren't going to make you lose ball games. Points do. Okay. Right. Top 10 defense. They can only get better.
Well, you hope they do get better. And of course, you look at the red zone and you look at the big plays. They're limiting those. And then on top of it, the defense also calls 4 turnovers, which was impressive versus, listen, everybody's, down on Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 8-win team. Okay, you want to talk about, the win against Atlanta? Okay. You want to talk about the win against Green Bay? Okay.
Pete, listen, they're catching teams at the right time right now.
Yeah.
Listen, they can only play who's on their schedule.
Correct.
Okay? Was Green Bay playing really good when they played them? No, not at all. They went ahead and they handled them. Then who did they play? No, it was Atlanta, then them, correct? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they played Atlanta. Well,
Atlanta?
They played Carolina.
Atlanta's who they are. Then they played Carolina, and then they played Green Bay, and now they went to Jacksonville. Let me tell you something. Jacksonville, for the past, not 1 or 2 weeks, for the past 5 weeks have regressed so bad. It's not even funny. Yep. But then again, I'm not making excuses, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the wins that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have already, that they, the way they performed on the field. You can only play who they put on your schedule.
Correct.
But they are catching these teams right at the right time. And it's all about them, that 2-letter word I call it. What is it?
The Mo.
There you go. Mo.
You're exactly right. And I think that's the scary thing. And I think that's why a lot of Bucs fans should be encouraged. And by the way, if you think we're just, blowing smoke up, what, we're not. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we said before the season, and yes, I'm going to pat myself on the back, and yes, I'm going to pat this guy on the back because not only is he a professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show, and we love him to death and what he brings, but he also said unequivocally, Leo word, that this team would have a 10-win season. And guess what?
They're not there yet.
Well, they're almost there.
Yeah,
You feel good about it. I think you feel good about what they're going with.
Got to get by New Orleans this week. This is going to be the tough game.
Yes, it is going to be a tough game, and it's always a tough game. So I definitely want to hear from you fans. What do you think about their chances?
Yep.
I also want to put you in the lobby for just a moment here because we had Sal Palantonio today on the.
Oh, I want to see this.
Yes, and I asked him about Baker Mayfield because the conversation was, well, Brock Purdy after the game he had, which, by the way, was completely awful. What did he have?
Wait a minute.
In that game?
Wait a minute, because Sam Darnold should be the quarterback there. That's for another subject, but I'm not saying anything.
He had a bad game, and a lot of people were saying before the game that he was an MVP type of candidate or he's the MVP of the league. Now, listen. Now they've shifted focus to Lamar Jackson, 19 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Let me put you in the lobby because this was my question today for Sal Palantonio of ESPN on the JP Peterson show on what he thought about Baker Mayfield being in the same conversation as Lamar Jackson. Pay attention here on the evolution of sports talk television. And of course, enjoy because much has been made about Baker and what he's done for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's eclipsed Tom Brady from last year. A lot of people will say Lamar Jackson should be the MVP with 19 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Why isn't Baker Mayfield in that conversation to be the MVP? If you're going to talk about Jackson, because Mayfield has better numbers, and I get it, it's all about win and losses. But like you said, he just followed Tom Brady. So why isn't Baker more in that conversation? Should he be in that conversation, Sal?
I think he should be in the conversation. Because he's sort of viewed as a one-year stopgap journey kind of guy. And Lamar Jackson's got some great numbers, beyond the numbers that you just recited. I just think, again, the way he has transformed himself and the way he has reconfigured his career to dovetail with what the Bucs needed at the time that they needed it, coming out of the shadow of Tom Brady, is nothing short of remarkable and an MVP type performance. Where is Baker with touchdowns? Is he close to 30 yet? He's got to be close to 30 touchdown passes.
28 and 7, right?
Well, I thought it was 20. I thought it was 26 and 8, but maybe I'm wrong.
26 and 8. Okay. Yeah. Something like that.
8. Yeah, he's close to 30. I mean, 30 is a pretty good number for a guy in a first year offense learning on the fly like that. And considering he had and here's the thing, right? This will dovetail exactly with the point you were just trying to make. The team with the best record against the spread this year is the Bucs. Now, what does that tell you? I just got that number from Caesars.
Wow.
The team with the best record against the spread in the NFL is the Bucs. And so that tells you that they have been underrated all year long by the betting community. And I pay attention to it, the betting community, because that's where the money goes. Those numbers are real. People get it. They don't put out fake numbers because the money's on the line. So I'm looking, and the team that's got the worst record against the spread, the Saints.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Been so overrated because why? Well, they got Derek Carr.
Yep.
And blah and blah 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 blah. And Baker's a 1 year. They're renting him for a year, and we'll see at the end of the season. We don't really believe in the Bucs, and there's a lot of that's been going around for years, for months and months. But if you watch me on the NFL matchup show, I always talk about Baker Mayfield and Dave Canales and Adam.
All right, welcome back to the evolution of sports talk television. Let's go out to my co-host here, Mr. Harry the Greek. I mean, your thoughts. He brings up, not only the numbers being better, of course, but also what he's had to overcome following Tom Brady. And then furthermore, from the gambling aspect here, Greek,
Gambling?
Says,
Someone say bet?
We did. We said that's what we talk. We talk bet on this show. We do talk gambling, sports gambling. We can win you some money.
I don't know anything about that.
Are 10-5, by the way. I looked this up, like 10-5-1 against the spread this year. The Saints are the worst. So what do you make of this? Should Baker Mayfield be in the conversation for MVP, not only of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the entire NFL league?
Well, he's going to be mentioned. But it's not going to go anywhere beyond that because of the wins and losses. That's the only reason why.
Okay.
And Sal said it best. I mean, he's a stopgap quarterback. That's all the people across the country, including Vegas, was looking at it. He was just going to be a stopgap quarterback. Let's go back to the beginning part of the season. You know who the MVP of the league was supposed to be this year?
Patrick Mahomes.
Nope. Justin Fields.
Wow.
And it wasn't even close. Not even close. Remember, Caesars had him at 3.5 wins. MGM had this team at 4. The biggest win total was, I think it was FanDuel, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, shout out to my boys over at FanDuel and KVG.
Sure.
They were at 4.5 and even 5 wins. They were getting no respect. ESPN had this team at 3.5 wins.
Yeah.
NFL Network had this team at 3.5 wins. And I just kept laughing about it.
Right.
I mean, they still had their core players. They just were missing a quarterback that just didn't want to play here last year. You do recall these conversations, correct?
Oh, of course. And he's already eclipsed those statistics. I mean, that's the most impressive thing. In a first-year offense at 26-8, Tom Brady, say whatever you want to, distractions, but he was in that offense for a couple years, and he did porous. Now, like I said, did the Bucs improve the offensive line? Yeah, they had major questions, though, coming into it. Luke Gedeke, going from the left guard spot to now the right tackle. Tristan Wirfs going from right tackle to left tackle. I mean, they had all kinds of shuffling.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, major questions.
And as the year went on, the offensive line did start playing better.
Sure.
I didn't say they're playing lights out. The left side of the line is playing really well. The right side of the line, not so well. And the center is really not that good right now. Sure. They go up against a top 2, top 3 type of defense. Let me tell you something. This team would struggle mightily right now if they had to play a team like Cleveland. It would be one of these scores like a 9-6 ball game. I'm not kidding you.
Sure.
That, you go up against a 4-man front like that, they will really expose you. And then Baker would really probably have a hard time. But because of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and the emergence of a new running game, by the way, did you actually hear that, Tampa fans? The emergence of a running game that we've been sitting here for the past 4 years screaming at the top of the mountains going, run the football.
To piggyback off of that, Rashard White only needs 127 yards to get to 1,000 yards rushing. And
he should.
Right.
I want to see the 1,000 yards. When you have a really good team, when you hit the 1,000 yards, when you're at 13 games. Okay, 14 at the most, not 17, Pete. I mean, you're supposed to hit 1,000 yards all day long at 17 yards. I mean, at 17 games. But yes, so instead of being 29th and 30th and 31st in the league in rushing, they're now starting to climb up that totem pole a little bit. They're never going to get in the top 15 for the rest of the year because they suck so bad in the beginning part of the year because they couldn't get their head out of their ass when it come to play calling. It just couldn't.
Sure.
There were so many games that they were just so imbalanced, it wasn't even funny. Look at the Frisco game. Look at Detroit. Look at what they did against some of these teams when they couldn't even, they wanted to pass the ball twice the amount of times they were going to run it. And you were one of them that were saying, they can't run the football. No, you got to try to run the football. Nothing's changed.
Right.
What's changed is you've made the effort and realized you do have a running game. And this is why this team is winning right now. That's why Baker looks the way he does, because when you have a successful running game, the passing game is going to open up. And that's the truth.
Well, and I think it's also the emergence of Chris Godwin. And I think the last...
Yeah. It's a combination of everything, Pete. Chris Godwin's has really stepped up his game a lot this year. And I don't want to hear this crap about it was because of his wife and this and that. The guy was always a really good wide receiver. Yeah. But because this team is running the football, if Baker Mayfield is even mentioned as player of the year, you call it, I'm sorry.
MVP.
The MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be because of the running game. Nothing else. Honest to God. I mean, the guy's balling out, but man, the running game has really been there these past 5-6 weeks.
All right. Fair enough. Let's go out to, of course, the text line here, the webheads. Let's see what they have to say. Keep him, but at a low price. I think they can do that. I think Jason Light will be able to. And
Who's
I know
that, Baker?
Yes. I think they can definitely.
Good luck with that.
Low price.
Good luck.
because, and again, I say this, Jason Light, Mike Greenberg, the Bucs organization, they've done these type of contracts before. And then furthermore, a lot of people say, well, what if the Raiders offer him? They try to overpay him. Okay, money is one aspect of it, but also it comes down to, I'm comfortable in this system. I get an opportunity to play for an organization that has let me be myself. He said this in the bye week. They let me be myself. And that's the reason why Baker is being Baker. They're letting him rip. And sometimes you're going to get those interceptions. You're going to get that guy. And I said it best, to me, I was looking at Brett Favre at Lambeau because he was just letting it loose.
Oh, he was letting it rip.
Yeah.
But as far as Baker going to the Raiders will be vying for his services as well. But, let me be really clear. The Raiders are either going to get Justin Fields from Chicago and give up a ton of draft capital and including a defensive player, or they're going to move up in the draft and they're going to get one of their quarterbacks, or they're going to stand pat.
Yeah.
It's going to be really simple. If the Raiders are looking in a different direction, it's not so much going after Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's going to be the target of about 6 or 7 different ball clubs. We will talk about that after the season.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about who the Buccaneers are going to possibly lose, because then it sounds like you're being a Debbie Downer. Exactly. All I'm going to say is this. If they win the division, which it looks like they're on their way of doing that,
sure,
it's going to cost them dearly. If they win a playoff game, oh, Lord, Baker Mayfield is going to be a hot commodity. You can say whatever you want. JP, I know you don't agree with this. A lot of people don't agree with this. This could cost the Bucs upwards of over $40 million a year if they win a playoff game. Because if you're talking about a possible MVP candidate and you win a first playoff game, guys, but you can dream all you want. It's not going to happen. There's no such thing as a hometown discount. The guy deserves it.
I will throw this out there. There's a guy by the name of Tom Brady who, followed a blueprint for so many years, taking less for his organization. So
it's not Tom Brady, though.
Well, but
you're talking 20 years in the league, Pete. There's a big difference versus someone that hasn't established himself yet.
He did that throughout his career. And I think there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that may follow his lead. Now, I don't know Baker personally. I just feel like if the Bucs came to him and said, listen, we need you to take this because we need to sign Mike Evans. We need to sign Antoine Winfield Jr. We need to re-sign a Tristan Wirfs. And then furthermore, we're going to help you out because we're not only going to get you some guys on the offensive line to help you out, but we're also going to get, possibly something on defense that will help you out in free agency. Just saying you're going to be in a better cap situation. And that's even,
if that was the case, Peter, then yes. If that was the case, then yes, but that's wishing. In today's day and age, it's just not the point of it. Look, man, Tom Brady made more money in endorsements than he did as a player. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, Baker Mayfield made almost as much money in endorsements through his insurance commercials and the other commercials that he was running when he was in Cleveland.
Right.
Well, the man is used to making money, but it's time to get paid. I'm telling you this. If he's in the conversation of being an MVP,
yeah.
And I'm not saying he deserves to be an MVP.
I mean, listen, if
you're in that conversation, it's going to cost you.
Listen, I don't mean to cut you off, but if you're going to put Lamar, because you're used to it, you're going to put Lamar Jackson in that conversation as being an MVP. You look, and I get it. He's done a lot of great things for Baltimore. Shocking development. If you listen to the show, I said how asinine it was for the Atlanta Falcons not to go after him and stick with Desmond Ridder, who has no business being a starting quarterback in the National Football League. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to go off on a tangent because it's too early in the nighttime. Well, maybe I will. Every team that said they didn't want no part of Lamar Jackson, they didn't want to trade. I would have traded 2-3 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson because he gives you that dynamic, that dynamic thing that a lot of quarterbacks can't give you. But he's got 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I get it. The Ravens are one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team.
No.
After
I hear you.
Let's go.
I'm going to bring up a comment really quick because I respect this guy a lot. It's Scott Bradford. Hold on just for a second. Scott, you're sitting up there. Baker's going to get at least 16 to 20 million per year with incentives right now. The Bucs are not going to overpay for Baker, especially with the upcoming Bucs free agency. You're absolutely correct. And that's why I'm sitting here saying he's probably not going to be a Buccaneer next year because they can't afford him. Scott, that was a great comment. But if they are forced in a corner, okay, and a gun was put to Jason Light's head to sign him, they're going to sign him, and they're going to end up losing other free agents. Unfortunately, that's just the business. I'm telling you that I don't believe that they're going to be able to re-sign him at that dollar amount, especially if they win a playoff game. There's too many teams right now that are out there looking for a quarterback. Look what they paid Garoppolo. Who's better? I mean, just be honest. Who's better?
Well, you're exactly right. Baker's better. Baker's better at this point. He's better.
Who's better? And you know what? This is going to be a hard pill for you to swallow. Derek Carr or Baker Mayfield, Pete?
Well, Baker Mayfield, but it's not a hard pill for me to swallow because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wanted Derek Carr, but they couldn't get him because he took more money with the Saints, and that goes.
And he had a bum shoulder, just like we were talking about it. And everybody says you're crazy here. You just hate Derek Carr. And I was like, there's a reason why he's not a Jet. There's a reason why he wasn't a Colt. There was a reason why there was 4 other teams that kept passing him, and I kept figuring out, well, what's going on? I made a few phone calls and found out, and I verified it from watching tape going, guy can't throw to his left. He's got a rotator cuff problem.
Yeah.
And there was fans, even the followers in the sports web, leaving comments going, you don't know what you're talking about. Really? What happened?
Well, and
the guy was down with a shoulder injury early in the season because he's got a rotator cuff issue.
But it also comes back to the Saints.
By the way, that's good scouting for the Buccaneers not going after him because they knew it just as well.
But not only top of that, Harry, and we're on the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire. Open phone lines if you want to get in on this conversation.
Yeah, call in, guys.
727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It also goes back to the money aspect because he wanted a lot of money, and the Saints were willing to overpay. And then you look at, the end result of it. You're not around an offensive line. Alvin Kamara is suspended for half of the year. You don't have the necessarily weapons for him to be successful. And then you look at the Baker situation. Yeah, he's going to get paid, but I will bet you another steak dinner that they do not pay him $40 million. They pay him under $40 million. They pay him about 20 to 25 at the most.
Peter, if he stays, that's all they're going to be able to pay him. But there's people out there going, if he truly wants to be here, or if it's this, or if it's that. Look, I want Baker to stay.
Right.
Let me be very clear about it, but I'm also a realistic person. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Tom Brady. He's not one of these guys that have made all this money in their career that can turn around and says, I just really love playing with Mike and Chris and everything else. It's not about that. It's about the security for the rest of his life. It's all about status. And unfortunately, in today's game, a lot of it's all about status. And also, let's talk about some of these other players. They get paid, and what happens? They don't perform.
Sure. Well, that's a fair point. But also with that status, in order for you to have that status, does it help out that you play with a guy like Mike Evans, who, by the way, most likely is going to be named a Hall of Famer, still consistent force. You have Chris Godwin. It helps with White at the running back situation, and it also helps with being comfortable with it. So those are the kind of facts. So it's not just all about money. So that's why I say
no. You see, that's not fair. You're putting words and hopes and dreams and people that are out there that watch this show. Do not speak for the players. It's so hard because it's just annoying to hear that people are speaking for the players. You don't know what they are. They want to get paid.
I get that. They want to get paid, but there's other factors. There has to be other factors. And if not, it turns out to be a Derek Carr situation.
Your phone's ringing.
Yes, it is. Let's go out to Ben Cornett from Las Vegas, leading off here on the Evolution. What's going on, buddy? 5 years. Friends, time flies when you're having fun. Welcome to the Sports Web.
What's up, Big Ben?
Hey, Peter. Hey, Harry. How's it going, guys? Long time no talk.
Pretty good, Ben. Thanks for calling in. What's going on? What's on your mind, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, not much, man. Just hearing you guys tonight, you bringing up some good points about Mayfield. I definitely think he should be considered in the MVP talk. Also, comeback player of the year too.
That's a good one. Comeback player of the year. So you think he's playing himself into a contract? And let's just say hypothetically, it's not a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. What do you think the market's going to be for him if they win a division and win a playoff game? Not what the Bucs are willing to pay. What do you think is going to be the market value for a Baker Mayfield who won a playoff game?
I would say at least 30 to 40 million.
Okay, that's more realistic.
I mean, I think you can get him. I think you can get him for 25 or 30. I don't think anything after that.
I just got to keep talking about the whatever the hell his name up there, Napoleon Dynamite. What's his name?
Mike Glennon. Well,
hey,
that's
Mike Glennon. You're talking about paying him the same money that Mike Glennon got. Get out of here. And that's 10 years ago. I'm talking about one Jones. What's Jones for the Giants right
Danny
now?
Jones.
Danny Jones.
That's a terrible contract.
I understand that. But if he gets that kind of money, don't you think the quarterbacks that are playing well this year that are coming up for a contract don't believe that they deserve this kind of money?
Actually, I think there will be other teams out there that would say, you know what, we're not going to pay Baker. We're going to do the same thing we did to Lamar Jackson. Is that fair?
Well, hold on. Lamar didn't have an agent.
What does that matter?
We can go up and down that road as many times as you want. And here's another thing, Pete. Lamar Jackson was offered a contract from Baltimore. He refused it. He's the one who went on and started talking to other teams. Don't get me started on that.
He should have because they weren't going to pay him the money that he deserved. But again, there's other ways of looking at it at the end of the day.
But he got his money, didn't he, Pete?
From Baltimore.
And who paid him?
Baltimore did.
His own team, the same team that wouldn't pay him the money he wanted originally.
So you're making my point for me for the
absolutely, because there was a lot of teams out there that were ignorant.
Well, I think the teams have learned from that. We're going to get out to J-Buck. J-Buck, stand by.
Oh, what's up, J-Buck? I see you in the back room.
I see you in the back. Ben, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think also you got to consider Baker Mayfield coming back here. I think it depends if the Bucs bring back Mike Evans. If they don't, let's say they don't bring back Evans.
Right.
Would Baker want to come back? Because he wants his top receiver. Wants somebody
exactly, which is why he would take less money because he understands the room and the situation. And I tell you right now, I don't know what they do over there. I don't know what they say over there. I want to be a fly on that wall when Jason Light or Mike Greenberg or Miss Davidson talk to these, respected free agents or guys that are on their team that are supposed. Because all we heard last year was Jamel Dean is not going to be re-signed. Re-signed. Levante David, he's going to move on. The sky is falling. Re-signed. We heard this a couple years before with Donovan Smith re-signing. Oh my God, why did you re-sign him? But you re-signed him. Leonard Fournette, I get it. Brady had some influence to that. But let's not say that Jason Light and all those people over there at $1 don't know what the hell they're doing, because they do.
Never said that.
I'm not saying you did.
We're just a couple years removed when this team signed every one of their free agents, when we were going down the line going, there's no way they can sign them. There's no way they can sign them. How can they sign all these people?
You said that. I know that.
Hold on. I'm the first one to stand. I was like, how in the world can they do that? And I stood right here and said I was wrong.
Yep.
But I'm not wrong that a player's not going to want to get his money, especially one that has been such a tumultuous, career that he's had, especially coming from Cleveland and almost ruining his career.
Tumultuous.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I've had, hey, look, man, J-Buck, I got a little rocks in my glass. You see
all right, Ben, finish up here on the evolution. Use that second call if you want to, my friend.
Thanks a lot, Ben.
Hey, man. Good. Hey, thanks, Harry. And you guys, I just want to say it's good to hear from you again, and I will call back soon.
Sounds good. There you go. Ben Cornett from Las Vegas. Let me give him the Macho Man. Yeah. I want to get out to J-Buck here. Let's get
him out. What's up, my brother?
Evolution.
What's up? How y'all doing?
How you doing, superstar?
Busy, tired, sleepy, all of that. But hey, I'm here.
Boogie.
I'm here.
Yeah, well, you also got interviewed by Channel 28 with Kyle Berger and also Joe Bucs fan. So kind of talk about that a little bit, and then we'll get back into the Bucs.
Wow. Well, I'll start with the JoeBuckFan.com. That was another surreal moment. Growing up, well, I wouldn't say growing up, but I guess it was during the period of my undergraduate year, the time I lived in Tallahassee while going to school, and I had a brief period in Miami. All I had was these websites. I had thebuccaneer.com. I had buckpower.com, and then I found Pewter Report. I don't know if people remember Pewter Report. It used to be a subscription. I think you used to have to pay like $1 or something a month.
Buccaneer
and through
Magazine.
You say what?
Buccaneer Magazine, yes.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I think the next website I thought was JoeBuckFan.com. So it was kind of these four for a while. So I never imagined the day that I would actually do an interview with JoeBuckFan.com. So shouts out to JoeBuckFan.com. I've been a fan. Joe Buck, it got to be close to somewhere near almost 2 decades. Yeah. So even so the crazy thing about that, how it came about was I think he did write an article or something to where he had came across something where someone referenced me as a pirate gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it was quite odd. It caught me by surprise, so I didn't know what to think of it. So I had went to Twitter, and I did not jump up there with respond or anything like that. But it was because of that tweet that kind of initiated the opportunity for me to do an interview with them. So I mean, surreal moment, magical moment, shouts out to them and Kyle Berger. I mean, what more can I say with that? So that exchange was on Facebook, and we made the plans to meet Sunday before the game, and it happened. So
Awesome.
Hey, great experience, awesome experience.
And you also got Mike Evans to sign the ball, correct?
Absolutely. So
shouts out that ball goes to bed with him. Are you kidding me? That ball don't even
that ball goes
to work with him. It goes to the bathroom with him. It goes in the damn shower.
Well, no.
What's your wife think about that ball coming in the bed with you?
Oh, I'm single.
Okay, sorry.
I'm single.
Honey, are you excited? No, that's my football, baby. What you talking about?
So it did go to work. It did go to work with me one time. And the only reason why I went to work because when I got in that Monday from Green Bay, I went straight to work. So it went to work that one time. But yeah, I have a crazy story. So when I had got to work, of course, I try not to mix my personal life with my business, with my professional life. I try to, I work hard to keep those two things separate. So lo and behold, because of the incident at Lambeau, that kind of went out the window. So I went to see a family. For all of you all that do not know what I do professionally, y'all do not laugh at me, do not pick at me, and do not kind of give me like the side eye with what I'm about to say. But I'm actually a therapist.
Wow.
So a lot of people didn't know that. So that's what I do. Professional. Oh, don't do that.
How long you been feeling this way, Jay?
Come on, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
It has to be sometimes. All right, you're gonna talk to.
You're dealing with me. You need therapy.
Hell, I'm a therapist and I need therapy. So I went to a fan. So now I did not know what was going to come out of this whole situation. So I caught myself trying to get ahead, with pre-warning some of my families of what took place and what can potentially happen. So of course one of my families already knew. So I go to the client and I do my sessions. I do my individual session with one of the family members. Then I do a family counseling session with the family, and I goes to leave so that I can go to my next family. And I was met with, I would say, 15 people from the neighborhood waiting to meet me. To see the guy who got the game ball at Lambeau. So that was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. Went to, and then yeah, man. Shouts out to my boy Ron. I hope Ron is watching, but Ron made a few phone calls through the Bucs organization, and they reached out to me this past Friday. And initially they said, hey, we were going to try to get the ball signed for you.
Right.
I did not know that was going to lead to me being able to sit in through what do they call it?
Press conference?
Not the press conference. They walkthroughs. The players do walkthroughs.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Saturday.
Cool.
So I got to enjoy that for, I want to say, maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and then afterwards I was escorted to Mike Evans, and the very first thing he said was, you better had got that ball. He wasn't sure if I got the ball or not, but he said, you better had got that ball because I had to pay for that ball. So that was the very first thing that he said to me. But
by the way, I still don't have any love for that security guard, Jay Bucks. I'm just letting you know. Sorry. Man, stop. That guy didn't have to
he was doing his job. He was doing his job.
He's doing his job.
So I keep playing. I keep telling myself that over and over again. He was doing his job. I guess that's the best way I can.
All right.
I guess get over it. So.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go out to the web heads here. Let's go out to Roger Shu says, "Go Saints." That's the
acknowledge.
And then
he said, "What?"
J-Buck, can you say 2 words? Ready?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Dip.
Shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks a lot, Roger.
Absolutely.
What's up, Roger? No, nothing but love. He's a fellow Greek guy. Roger, I do love you, brother.
He's a troll. He's a tribal troll. That's what we do here. That's how we treat tribal trolls. Scott says the difference of the Bucs now. Dave Canales is calling a better game, and Baker is executing them.
Great comment.
Let me go out, as always, Scott from Bucs Life right there. Harry, I'll go out to you, and then Jay, we'll talk about this. Is this the difference?
Let's talk about it.
Well, hold on. Well, we're not going to be able to talk about it because we're going to go out to the phone lines here, Jay Buck and Harry.
The phone lines.
Welcome to the Sports Web. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Franco from Tampa, Florida.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Frankie, baby. That's my Pirates Untamed brother. PBU. Shouts out to PBU.
Okay.
I have no idea what it is, but much love. PBU.
Hey, you know what, Harry? Just for that, I'm gonna get you a Pirates Untamed patch.
I love it.
You gotta get him a patch.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
wear it.
I'm gonna get you a patch.
I'm gonna wear it.
All right. So, Franco, thanks for calling the Evolution. What do you have to say here to your buddy Jay Buck, or you want to talk about this
man,
Saints?
That was quite an experience to see that, and I'm so happy for my brother, man, to see that happen. And
amen.
I'm kind of glad, I'm kind of glad that I was nowhere near. Me and Jay Buck had shared the experience.
I'd have been in jail. What are you kidding me? For real, I'd have been in jail.
When that guard tried to take that ball from
I'd have tackled his ass and said, Jay Buck, go, run.
Hey, Harry. Hey, man, me and Franco got some stories. I really think that, because my thing is when a lot of people like to label this thing, and I know Franco can attest to this, this whole super fan thing or whatever, but Franco is one of the one. Me and Franco been rocking for I went at least since 2015. Wow. So me and Franco, don't get me wrong, we have some, and I'm not trying to to speak for my brother, but I know we got some amazing stories, some amazing experience, but man, it seems as though we've had some really terrible, horrible experiences. And what I really think we should write a book or do some type of TV series or something. People really don't know like some of the crap that we went through. So I only can imagine if he was the one, because again, I was with my cousin. My cousin was the one that was trying to be civil, trying to calm everything down. Franco, on the other hand, I don't foresee it ending the way that it did, because I don't know what it is. It's this instinct where I either have to protect him or he got to protect me. But yeah, it wouldn't have ended that way had he had been there. It wouldn't have ended that way. I
still don't like the security guard. Sorry.
Yeah.
And Pete, you talked about you spoke on the Saints, and Jamal sitting here telling us about experience that we had, and it's wild. The worst experience I think we've had has been at New Orleans.
Yeah.
In the dome.
Yeah.
Even worse than Philly, seriously.
Is it? Well, I mean, and I was asking this week. I threw it out.
Philly, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I tell people this, and I don't know if it's because we marching there with Tom Brady, and they just like they had their tail tucked between their legs. Those fans didn't give us anything, man. Like
up in Philly,
a couple of stories in Philly.
Boogie, don't tell me you went up there looking like that and they let you leave that game.
I had a blast in Philly.
In a jumpsuit, I had my red eyes in. I had my Bucs chain on, my championship belt. They said nothing.
You had a clock stuck right over here, and Uzi sitting up over here, and a shotgun in this hand. That's why they didn't say shit to you. Okay, let's be real. Because I know up in Chicago, where I was born and raised, that's exactly what you'd have to. You have to be strapped, bro. Trust me.
Man, listen, bro.
No, I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you. Chicago ain't like that. That's just Philly.
Well,
Sorry,
I want to
Gary.
listen. I want to hear the New Orleans experience because
I want to hear this. I got to hear this. I
listen,
love this.
Hey, Franco, which one? Because I can think of four incidents off the top of my head. Which one you starting with?
We're gonna talk about 2018, where ironically,
Oh, Lord.
I'm telling you, we've never the only time I've ever been in the vicinity of J Buck when something went down, I grabbed him before security could get to him and I pulled him out of the stadium.
Mm.
In 2018, that particular year, I oh my God, it was the greatest experience ever. We out there Saturday night partying down on Bourbon Street. All the Saints fans are talking trash because we got Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in. They thinking they just gonna blow our ass out. And we ended up going in there. And I think at the top of the fourth quarter, it was 48-21. Like, it was beautiful.
Yep. 48-40 first game there with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I believe Deshaun Jackson had a big day, and that was 2018, of course, when Jameis Winston was suspended. I believe the first 3 or 4 games of the season. Yeah, Fitzpatrick was
Yeah,
big.
Mike Evans had a big game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson. They both had huge games. Well, I guess one of the workers down on the field was kind of pissed off, and he saw me all decked out in my Bucs gear, and he decided to start mouthing off. Now, I'm not going to repeat exactly what it was he said, but my response to him was, I'm finna come down on that field and make it do what I do.
Wow.
And
I'm going to have a little
turn
come
around-
to Jesus meeting with you.
I turn around, and it's like 5 officers, not security guards, officers walking down. They escort me downstairs, and I got put in stadium jail. Now, I went viral for this because
No,
I
you
went
didn't.
live while they had me spitting in the cell, and everybody was just cracking the hell up. Meanwhile, while I'm sitting in jail, J-Buck is up in the stand reconstructing the young man's face because he decided that he wanted to.
Now,
Hold
let
on.
me
That's why my boy
explain.
Jay Boogie needs some counseling here.
Now, let
I do
me
televisits, Jay
explain.
Boogie. I do televisits.
Now, let me explain. So this is what happened. So
I want to hear this.
and the crazy thing about this, while Franco, this was going on literally while Franco was live. And so what happened was, I try to get people to understand, because some of us choose to represent our team in a certain manner that attract positive and negative attention. And I'm not saying that individuals who choose not to wear a mask or face paint, that they don't encounter some of the things that me, Franco, and other super fans, may encounter. I'm not saying that at all, but sometimes we're just the target just for the sake of being a target. Now, I literally was celebrating my team winning the game, and this is, I want to say, right, I want to say maybe 2-3 minutes, before, celebrating my team, wasn't paying any, and just some fan just out of nowhere decided to come and started talking trash towards me. I won't say what he said. So next thing I know, Harry, I was using my coping skills.
Okay, good.
I was using my coping skills.
You're doing what I taught you. Go ahead.
And then the next thing I know, I guess while I was using my coping skills, once he initially, he realized that he couldn't get to me, he then came, and then, believe it or not, I got mushed in the face.
He what?
He mushed me. He got his hand and he pushed me in my face.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So I can't tell you, or I won't say on camera, on live, what I did in response. But just know that I will say this though: after I did what I did, and the police was trying to make a decision if they was going to take me with Franco or not, would y'all believe Saints fans came to my defense?
What?
I would not.
Saints fans was the one that said no. They told it was an old lady that jumped in front of the officer and said, "No, you all are not going to tell. Y'all not going to do." He was defending himself. That guy put his hands on him first.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
I thought you were going to give me a better story, like WWE.
Because I don't want to put it on
I thought you were going to give me
camera.
I thought you were going to give me the WWJD. What would Jesus do in this moment?
Shut up, Henry.
I was feeling it. I thought I was going to church over here.
Hey, oh, I got one for you. Hey, would y'all believe what
Bro, you're
Franco?
supposed to tell me you
Franco's
yoked this joker up by his shirt, pounded him in the head
I
a
mean,
couple of times.
I mean, you know, not. Okay, we'll talk about it offline. How about
Okay, cool. I like that. See, I'm getting the real gig over here.
Hey,
tell me, have
Franco,
you ever been to Chicago as a fan for the Bucs?
Okay, so I've been to Chicago for the draft.
Okay.
I was at the draft the year that Jameis got drafted. I have not been to Soldier Field yet.
You will have an extraordinary time, and I'll tell you.
I
what
believe
I'm gonna
it.
do. Boogie, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. When the Bucs do go to Chicago, we will trade information. We will go up there. I got a place up there we can hang. You will have an extraordinary time.
Let's do it.
You're gonna find some of the most friendly fans in the world out there. Even if they lose or win, it don't make a difference. They tailgate with everybody mingles around. There's not a lot of Buck fans. I've never really seen too many Buck fans up there when they played them, but it's a good time. I think you'd like it. It's definitely not Philly.
Hey, Frank, you still on the phone?
I'm still on the phone. I'm still here.
Oh, but I'm gonna have to concur. With when I went to Philly in 2021. Not only was I had an amazing time. I don't know what it was.
I got to keep digging at Philly, bro.
Well, you have to dig up.
Actually, I'll tell you, the worst experience I have with Philly fans is in Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah, in our own stadium.
In our stadium.
In our stadium.
They're terrible in our stadium. But when I went to Philly, Frank, that was in 2021, right?
That was in
21. I had no issue. But would y'all believe the fan base that Cleveland? We had issues in Cleveland last year.
Really?
You know what they call Cleveland, right, Pete?
A dog pound.
No. This is the mistake by the lake.
Oh wow!
Mistake by the lake.
By the lake.
Well, it's Factory of Sadness too. That's what they
That's
also
true.
call them, because it's a quarterback graveyard. They can't find a quarterback. Oh, by the way, they overpaid for Deshaun Watson, and guess what? They gave up on the starting quarterback of the Bucs now.
Thank you, Cleveland.
Yes, thank you, Cleveland. We appreciate that. We appreciate you, and that's ridiculous contract that you gave Watson. So
I'd still love to have that defensive line, man. Those are some dogs up there in Cleveland. Oh,
I'll tell you right now. All right, so Franco, I asked this week about, and I put this out there in social media, why do fans of the Bucs hate the Saints so bad? And you kind of confirm this. Is it because of the other fan base? Is it because of Drew Brees? Is it because they are so dirty and just a couple years ago knocked out of Chris Godwin? What do you say?
Pete, when you address Drew Brees with Franco, you refer to him as Freddy Krueger. I don't call him Drew Brees. That's Freddy. That is Freddy Krueger 101, man. He gave us nightmares for years. And I think that's a part of the reason, that it's crazy to me how loyal those fans are out there, and even though the years where they didn't have him, how loyal they were. And showing up to that stadium every week, even though they knew they was going to get their ass whooped, it didn't make no difference. But to have Drew Brees, a future Hall of Fame quarterback, on that team doing damage to teams for so long, it just gave them this confidence. And of course, when it came to us, even the year that we won our first Super Bowl, we lost both games to the Saints. We won our second Super Bowl, we lost both games to the Saints. And they just always had this level of confidence over us in the division, and you really can't blame them. Now, it's like they're coming back down to reality.
They're pretty pedestrian, aren't they?
Yeah.
For real, they're pretty pedestrian. Yeah, I never looked at it that way. Try being a Chicago Bear fan and living across from Green Bay. Once you had Brett Favre, and all of a sudden you had to run into Aaron Rodgers. That's like Drew Brees on steroids.
Well, I tell you right.
You know what, Franco? You was very nice. I commend you. You better be lucky Pete ain't asked me that question.
Well, I'll tell you right now. It's almost 10 o'clock here. Let's go ahead and ask you, Jay Boogie, that question.
Well, no, it's 2 minutes to go.
Because
it's Harry.
I mean, because like let's keep it 100. Like the Saints fan base. Well, actually, shots out the hashtag Doodoo That Nation, hashtag Caesar Stupid Dome, the Boo Orleans Blanks. That is one of the most delusional fan bases I have ever seen in my life. They won Super Bowl. That one Super Bowl, you think that one Super Bowl they won accounts for 3 Super Bowls? You would have think that they had this astronomical amount of division wins. Like, look how many the division wins that Brady had with New Orleans, or Green Bay, the dominance that Green Bay had in their division. Nobody in the NFC South really can say that. Even during the period of Bucs losing, the Bucs before I think we won 3 division titles. It's not a huge gap amongst the division winners in the NFC South. You know, so I think now we don't won it 5 times. Saints won it 7 times. Carolina won it 5 times. I think Atlanta maybe won it 4 times. So again, it's
some
not
parity in the South, definitely.
Right. You know, so my thing is, I don't know what it is about this bout of delusion or whatever. Like, it seems as though like New Orleans Saints fans, like if we have to act like we in the episode of Barney, like we got to play pretend or make believe that they've accomplished more than I don't get it. Like, Saints fans are weird to me, you know. So my thing is, here's the thing with them or whatever. Now I know it's 10 o'clock, but I got to say this, y'all. Let me go ahead and get it out real quick, because you know, and this ain't got nothing to do with hate. First and foremost, I'm gonna agree with them with this. We are not their division rivals, because my thing is, we don't need to be division rivals with the bottom feeders of New Orleans. First and foremost, I want to make that clear. Like, my thing is they've accomplished nothing for us to want to be rivals with them. I don't desire to be a rival with any team in the NFC South. Carolina's trash, Atlanta's trash, New Orleans is trash. So let's make that clear. Another thing too, with New Orleans, despite, you know, the now I will give they food good, but outside of their food, you know, everywhere you go, you know, you smell pee, you smell doodle, you know, it's nothing there, you know, whatever that smells fresh, you know, ever in New Orleans. The dorm is like some type of, it gives psych ward, you know, type feel. I mean, I just don't get what the big deal is or whatever about New Orleans fan base or whatever. And then this is why I'm gonna disagree with my brother. You know, my brother was trying to make it seem as if they were such a loyal fan base before Drew Brees. That's a lie. The much of their success ride on the time that Drew Brees was there. Remove Drew Brees from the occasion. What have they accomplished? I'll patiently wait. What have they accomplished?
They won one.
My point exactly.
That's it. That's all they
won one Super Bowl with Brees. If you remove that Super Bowl goes with Brees, if you remove Drew Brees from the equation, what do they have? We won a Super Bowl without Brady. We've had success or whatever in previous years. And don't get me wrong, yeah, it is a lot of losing associated with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Bucs have also had their success as well. What can New Orleans say? Remove Drew Brees from the equation. I just don't understand what this bout of delusion. They're the only fan base that still hear and see and can smell and taste dead people. Like, y'all don't get me started with New Orleans. See, let me calm down and realize.
No, keep going. It ain't
like, my thing, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, they bout of delusion and hallucinate. Like, you know, same as the only one that they probably have auditory hallucinations and all of that. Like, I just don't get, what is it that you all see that I don't see?
I gotta tell you, it reminds me of a show that used to be on a former platform. It was called "What's Cooking in Your Mouth." I mean, what's cooking in the South? Okay, I know Pete's gonna laugh his ass off when I say that. Okay. But it is. It really is. What's cooking in the South? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Well, there's nothing. There was nothing cooking there at all. It was dead. It wasn't like this show. And listen, Jay Boogie, we always say 3 things on this show: bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. So you can go ahead and bring that.
Let's go back a couple of years. So when we signed Brady,
here we go.
They was the main ones. Oh, Brady washed up, this and that. They had all of this to say or whatever about Brady. Mind you, going into the 2020 season, the Saints was favored not only to go to the Super Bowl, but to win the Super Bowl. But they forgot that. They don't want to talk about that part. Now, all of a sudden, Brady or whatever, we go in there, not only we go to New Orleans and beat their ass, and then we're going ahead and win the Super Bowl. Now, all of a sudden, it's the COVID Bowl. But they still win. They still run the South because even though we don't won more Super Bowls than them, they still won more division titles or whatever. So then we go ahead and then we win, whatever, the next two or whatever divisions, and now all of a sudden we about to win the division this week. We're gonna tear their ass up on Sunday. Now all of a sudden it's a cookie division or whatever. And now, oh man, we want y'all to win the division because now, because we want to fire Dennis Allen and we want to get rid of Derek Tricycle. I can't even call that man Derek Tricycle. He's so sorry, So it's like, when it don't involve New Orleans, they always want to downplay other teams' success when it don't involve them. But had they had won the Super Bowl in 2020, 2021, or if they was about to win, the division or whatever, it'd be a whole completely different story. Saints fans, the only one that again, it's like an episode of Barney. You got to play make believe and pretend. When it comes to them or anything that involved them. Mind you, even before, actually, let's talk about this. Even when they had their little bout or their little playoff run, Minnesota proved twice that they went and bought shit. Not one time, two times.
He makes me want to donate to the church.
The Rams proved that they went and bought shit. This even before we got to their ass in 2020, 2021. This before we got to their ass January 17, 2020, 21. So every team have proven that they ain't bought shit. But they the only ones that create this bout of delusion. God, y'all see, y'all done got me cranked up about doodle hashtag doodle that nation.
J-Buck, I got to tell you, J Boogie, you make me want to donate to the church. But I'll tell you what, next time you go on your diatribe, I'm gonna play a little funk right here. There you go. This will calm him down. J-Buck, just 10 seconds. Listen to the funk, and everything will be all right. Listen.
All right, little music interlude here on the Evolution.
There you go.
Harry, you could at least sent me some instincts or something.
Oh man, you just
with the music.
There we go.
Boogie, you were supposed to let me have that, man.
This is how we feed the Saints.
All right, turn it off, man.
No, Franco, because you trying to be nice and trying to be respectful of Freddy Cougar and all that. No.
You brought up 2021. I will share something with y'all that happened between me and my brother, and I know he remember this.
Mm-hmm.
It was a moment we lose the first game to the Saints, and I look at Boogie, I say, check this out. My ultimate wish is that we lose to them twice in the season.
And then win the Super Bowl.
That's facts.
New Orleans.
And tear their ass up.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is facts.
Exactly what ended up happening.
Well,
that is facts.
And it did.
That is facts.
You could see the fan base was
all right, come on, guys. Seriously, when they lost twice, when you guys were playing in that last game, tell me the truth. Y'all weren't shaking like whores in churches. Honestly.
No, not at all.
I was. I got to be honest.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. I'm a very transparent person. I will honestly say that Franco went into that game very confident. I'm not going to lie. Me on the other hand, I did not. I was shaking. I didn't know what anxiety and what they call it, panic attacks. I didn't know what that was until the week of us playing the Saints. Was it January 17, 2021? Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken. So that was the first time I can honestly say I dealt with anxiety and I had a few panic attacks. I'm not gonna lie. Franco, on the other hand, Franco had this burst of confidence or whatever. Oh, we finna knock their head. Franco, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to lie. I think you predicted the score, and your prediction was close to what you predicted.
It was damn near. It was damn near.
Yeah.
And I think the Greek also predicted that it's almost impossible to beat a team 3 times in one season.
Well, yeah, and I think also you look at the turnover situation, and we're on with Franco, and of course we got J-Dub here, Mr. J-Buck, J Boogie, and of course Harry the Greek. I'm your host, Peter Blake, on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Wednesday night. I think it comes down to turnovers. You know, Devin White played his ass off in that game. He played well last Sunday. And then you get the turnover there from Antoine Winfield Jr., which, you know, the tight end, and you have that, and you start to feel good about that situation. And then on top of it, I got to pat my co-host back on this, because he talked about it. You know, this team, they couldn't just ride with Tom Brady and Mike Evans and, of course, Chris Godwin, because we all knew that Mike Evans going against Lattimore hasn't necessarily been always the best matchup. So you got to get a running game. And who better to get
Lattimore? He's nothing but a little.
Well, he's not in this game, but that's been the matchup. And you got Lombardi Lenny, who's from LSU. So you had to get a running game. You had to get balance, and you felt good about that. And look, Brady didn't have necessarily his best game. It was because of the balance and, of course, the defensive turnovers by White and, of course, Winfield Jr.
Good point.
Yeah. Great point.
Thank you.
I gotta say something, man. I got and I meant to hit J-Buck up about this and, you know, discuss this. Yeah. I got mixed emotions about this game coming up this week, man, because, you know, by us winning the division last year, you know, we get this hellified schedule the next year, and we don't know what kind of team we're gonna be looking at. So I got the same feeling about this team this year, because we win a division, and it's just going to put us in, to me, a difficult spot next year. How they, you know, line us up with our schedule, and, you know, the strength of the schedule. And again, we don't know what kind of team we're going to be looking at.
Well, let me ask you. Let me put you in here. Let me just say this: the cap situation this year was what, $75 million, because you were paying all the debt off from Tom Brady.
They're going to be in better cap space, Pete. But I think the question that he had is what the strength of schedule was going to be.
This is going to be a better team.
Well, so I understand that. Obviously, the better record you have, you're going to have a better schedule the following year. It's going to be a little bit tougher. But also remember, almost 80% of the times, half of the teams, that are supposed to be really good aren't as good as they were.
That's fair.
So, you know, that's a fair statement. Some of these teams, you know, it's just unfair to finish last place. You know, they ended up getting the weakest schedule supposedly before the season starts, and all of a sudden these teams start to emerge. I mean, who would have thought that the Houston Texans? I mean, you understand where I'm going with this. I mean, there's teams that are going to really that are really going to excel. But I have a question for both of them, because Jay Boogie actually heard some of the conversation when we were talking about Baker Mayfield. Let's swing it right back into what was going on with the Buccaneers, including the caller.
Yeah.
Take the fandom out of yourself. Okay. Forget your fans. I know it's really difficult to do. It's a business. Baker Mayfield, if they win the division, which it looks like they're going to, and let's just say hypothetically they win a playoff game. We'll start with the caller first. What do you think he's going to command per year? Not saying what the Bucs are going to pay him, but what do you think his kind of salary is going to be annually for the next, say, 3 to 4 years? Because there's 7 teams looking for quarterbacks. How much do you think it would cost the Bucs in order to keep him?
Oh, man. I'm not good at this, but if I had to guess, I would say anywhere in range about what, 10, 15 million a year.
Okay, you understand Jameis Winston makes that.
Well, I think
that would be a blessing.
That would be a
blessing. That would be highway robbery, and then I'd say that Jason Light is the greatest general manager of all time. Again, take the fandom out of it. J-Buck, question: what do you think it's going to cost him?
Listen. He already kind of is, because he built this team to attract to Tom Brady. It's like everybody's, well, Tom Brady came to the Bucs and that's how they turned it. No. Jason Light and crew built the team, so Tom Brady chose the Bucs. All right.
They kind of like the receivers that they had, and then Tom Brady brought in a few players that came with him. Leonard Fournette, and a couple of other players. But let's go back to the question that we just had. Jay Boogie, what do you think? If he doesn't sign with Tampa, what do you think he gets?
if he does not sign with Tampa, and I think it was you, Harry, when you had mentioned something a little earlier that I was really, really trying to avoid this particular player and contract being mentioned when one Daniel Jones. He's going to Baker go at least command that. If Baker wins, let alone the division, I think he's going to at least get that. He only has to win one of these 2 games.
Yeah,
you know, so he gonna get. And my thing is, and actually, someone else, and not to get off track, someone else on Twitter mentioned another incentive that's working in Baker's favor because someone got either injured or benched. Howell, because Howell from the Redskins, I believe he's getting benched. I believe if Baker ends the year in the top 5 in the NFC, he gets like another 300,000. So it's another incentive there. So I say that to say the chances of Baker winning one of these next 2 games, in my opinion, is high. So he's going to win the division. If he wins a playoff game, he's again. And this is me moving my fandom. This is me. I'm not J Buck. I'm not a Buck fan. I'm literally looking at this on the outside, from the outside looking in. He's going to command at least that Daniel Jones contract.
I told you.
At least.
See,
at least. And when you said it, my heart dropped because my thing is, I'm hoping.
Look what's happening in Minnesota. They're looking for a quarterback, and they're going to have cap space.
Exactly.
I mean, and especially great that he wants to play in Tampa. Who wouldn't want to throw to Justin Jefferson? By the way, a younger version of a Mike Evans.
But
they have on the other side another Chris Godwin, and they have a running game.
Here's the thing that you guys are not looking at, and I can.
All right, please tell me.
Yes,
because he just wants to be here.
No. That's not just it.
Okay.
Somebody says Baker Mayfield, he's been to a lot of teams. He went to the Cleveland Browns. He went to the Rams. He went to Carolina. Why hasn't he been successful? Because the stability isn't there. Do you think after having a career year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that he would want to go to another program, another offensive coordinator, and learn a new offense? No, absolutely not. You know why? Because that's the problem with Baker Mayfield. That's the reason. It's not that Baker Mayfield isn't, talented enough. It's the fact that the stability is not there. Multiple offensive coordinators, multiple coaches, multiple systems. That hinders a young quarterback's development. Ask Alex Smith. Ask the quarterbacks around the league. Ask Jason Campbell. I mean, there's all kinds of examples of that. So that's why I tend to say,
Pete, you got a point, man. You have a point, but it's still about the money.
But
this man, it has to be, Pete.
I don't necessarily think it's all just about the money. It has to be the other factors. It has to be about his family. His wife likes Tampa. Not only that, he's comfortable with Dave Canales. This organization was the only one to sit here and say, Baker, even though we're going to give you $4.5 million and it could be $8 million, we're going to let you be yourself. No other organization has allowed him to do that. And then furthermore, you got a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Mike Evans. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. And we're going to get to Sal Palantonio from ESPN on his comments about Evans and the likelihood of him re-signing. Guys, you got to tune into that in just a couple minutes. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You got an upcoming running game here, and you got a coach that you love, and you also have got an offensive coordinator that you can work with. And then furthermore, you're going to have more money.
Peter, the bottom line is this, and you know what? And I'm just going to interrupt real quick. I don't care if the Guadalajara Tornadoes.
I think Harry's froze.
And said, "No, I'm still here. I'm not frozen. Hello, I'm still here."
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, good. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hear me. Okay. I don't care if the Guadalajara Tornadoes called him and said, "Hey, Baker, $40 million a year." I know his wife likes Tampa. His wife would be like, where? Guadalajara? Hey, Viva Mexico. Let me tell you something.
Happy wife. Happy life.
It's about the dineros, brother.
But
Let me
it's
explain it. This
about,
isn't mucho trabajo, nada dinero, okay? This has nothing to do with it. It's a lot of work, and I want to get paid.
Well, fine. Okay, that's simplistic. But what I would say is that if you look at Baker's career, he's always consistently gone from team to team, or he hasn't had that opportunity. He'll finally have the opportunity for stability, and it'll be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And guess what? As crazy as this sounds, he may actually be loyal to the Bucs because guess what? They gave him the opportunity to be who he wants to be. Guys, let's go ahead and
for those reasons he's staying. God bless it.
saying,
From your mouth to God's ears, back to fruition, bro.
I'm just saying, everybody says the reason why Baker Mayfield isn't a good quarterback, he hasn't had the opportunity to be a good quarterback because he hasn't had a stable coach, a stable system.
5 weeks ago, everybody was like, he sucks.
Well,
he's doomed.
Listen,
push him off the plank. The Bucs are done. There was people jumping off the Skyway Bridge. Now everybody's like,
that wasn't me.
That wasn't me. I said 10 wins to begin the season, and I'll still say 10 wins to end.
I said 10 wins minimum this year.
Yeah.
When all the pundits, including ESPN, NFL.com, CBS Sports, MGM, Caesars, and all FanDuel, everybody had them at 3.5, 4.5 games. One of them had them up to 5 and dropped them right back to 4.5.
Right. Wow. Exactly. All right. Franco, go ahead and finish up here. Give me some final thoughts and then stay tuned here because we do have Sal Powell talking about Mike Evans and the possibility of the reason why he's going to re-sign. I'll just give it away with the Bucs.
You pick it right out of my mouth, man. One of my cigar brothers, shouts out Cigar Port. I don't know if y'all into cigars, man, but one of my cigar brothers called me up, man, and
I prefer a Monica special.
Said he I don't know how true it is. But he said he had a chance to talk to Mike Evans' agent.
Okay.
And his words to me, he called me. He was like, the front runners to receive Mike Evans next year were the New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. I'm like, nah, it's not going to happen. But he was quick to call me and tell me that. I don't know how much truth is behind that. I don't want to believe it because I want Mike Evans to retire a Buccaneer. And I hope and pray that's what ends up happening. But, with all the drama that came, earlier, with, him and the whole contract, the situation is, it's always something that's going to play in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Well put.
Yeah.
Well, I put it out there, the grass is maybe always greener on the other side, but maybe it's not. And we've seen free agents go to other places and get the big time money. And guess what? They don't do the same thing they did at the other place and eventually, end up maybe going back to that place or wishing they could go back to that place. Franco, thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk.
Great call, Franco.
Frank,
man. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Good stuff there. All right. Real quick, let me put you in the lobby. Ralph, we're going to go ahead and throw back the segment to 10:30 because we still have some Bucs stuff to talk about. So if you want to get out of the lobby or want to hang out, we'll do Turnbuckle talk.
He just don't care about you, Rolf. I got you, bro.
Well, no, I care about you. I just want you to stand by here. Jay, I'm going to go ahead and put you in the lobby. I'm going to go ahead and put Harry in the lobby. Let's go back out to Sal Palantonio and my comment of what he's heard around league circles because, Sal Pal definitely has lots of sources about the Mike Evans situation here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here we go. You got some context around the league.
A few.
Yeah, up you. Yeah, you've been in this for a long time. I mean, what are you hearing about the Mike Evans situation? Because, there's a lot of fans out there thinking, Mike Evans, it could be his last year with the Bucs. I mean, what are you hearing around league circles thinking, are the Bucs going to re-sign this guy? Or are they going to let him test the market? I mean, what do you think is going to happen in this offseason coming up?
Well, I think here's what I'm hearing. I think I'm hearing the same thing that I said to JP on Sunday when we were sitting in the press box. The Bucs, here's what I'm hearing from people, and this is not my opinion, but it could be my opinion. The Bucs are nuts to let Mike Evans get out the door.
He's not going anywhere.
The Bucs are nuts to let Mike Evans go out the door. Listen, Rondé Barber just got in the Hall of Fame. I'm on the Hall of Fame selection committee. I'm one of the 46 voters. Mm-hmm. Okay. Barber just got in. Derek Brooks is in. Sapp is in. Lynch is in. Evans is going in. You want him? He's got to be a Buck for life.
Yeah.
He's got to be a Buck for life. So whatever the Glazers are doing with all the dough they got, you're gonna have to give Baker some money, and you're gonna have to give Mike Evans some money. That's it. You're gonna have to give these two guys money because if you want to do anything with that team. And, let's you're going to get a home playoff game. You win in the division, you're going to get a home playoff game. You're going to boat race the Saints. Now, Saints have a pretty good defense now.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. But, I don't see the Bucs scoring 30 on the Saints. But they're going to win the game.
Yeah.
They're going to win the game. They're going to beat the Saints. They're going to win the division. And you're going to get a home playoff game, and you're going to make some money off of it. The Glazers are going to make some money, a lot of money off a home playoff game. You just sold all those suites. How many year leases on the suites?
5-year suites on the Brady deal was 5-year lease on the suites and a 20% surcharge for every year that Brady plays.
All right, so there's the answer to your question. There's money there for Baker and Evans.
All right, welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Harry. Let's go out to Jay Boogie here. I mean, after hearing these comments, Harry, again, Sal Powell is definitely in league circles. He hears things. He talks to general managers and owners. Do you feel more confident now that this Bucs organization will get business done and get Mike Evans signed in the offseason?
Look, it'd be a travesty if they don't sign him, but it's still all about money. What do you want more, the quarterback or do you want the wide receiver? And if I were the Buccaneers, it would be the wide receiver in this case because Mike Evans is already he's look, man, he's been the consummate gentleman when it comes to his paycheck. He has sacrificed enough. He's restructured his deals before in the past, and he is most deserving of staying a Buccaneer. I don't agree with Sal with one thing. If he was to leave this team and have a bad year, he'd still make it into the Hall of Fame. He doesn't have to retire a Buccaneer. The man is a Hall of Famer for what he's already accomplished. The end. He doesn't even have to play another year. But it's not a guarantee that the man even wants to play another year.
To that point, what his point was is that the Glazers, because of the PR backlash and because he could be possibly, he already says he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think Evans is a Hall of Famer. Why would you let him go to another organization?
Well, it's not to say that. I mean, everybody's always talking about the two options. Does he stay or does he go? But no one's talking about the third option. Has anybody even asked him if he wants to play beyond this year?
He's still playing at a high level.
No, so did Barry Sanders and everybody else. I'm just giving someone something to think about here.
Thank you.
You always have to take into account, does the player still want to continue to play? He's getting up there in age. His body is breaking down a little bit, but yes, he is still playing at a very, very high level. Look, man, he may want to go off into the sunset. You don't know.
Right.
You just don't know. Hopefully they're able to keep him. But if it was me, I would keep him. And if I had to have a choice between Baker or Mike Evans, I would take Mike Evans, unfortunately.
I think you keep both. I think you can keep both.
No, ideally you want to keep both, but I just don't know how financially conducive it's going to be for the organization.
I will say this, and I'll go out to you, Jay Boogie. When the Saints, almost about the last 5 years, have been in cap hell, and when this team, again, took that $75 million dead cap and said, you know what? They have big plans. They planned for this. They knew what they were doing. And then furthermore, you talk about restructures. The Bucs can do that. They could do that with the Vita Vea. They could do that with the Chris Godwin. And those players will most likely, want to do that to keep this core together. Again, maybe I'm an eternal optimist, but I just believe in what Jason did in that Tampa.
You're an eternal optimist.
Well, I also think that we should be optimistic about it.
Cautiously optimistic is a different story.
No, I wouldn't say cautious. No, I wouldn't say cautious. I would say that Jason Light and crew, and Jay Bull, you can comment on this, they have proven themselves over the last 5 to 10 years, especially Blazers, that they want to win, and they want to win at all costs. This is not a Tampa Bay Rays thing, which we'll get to in a moment because I
won't be here. I'm going to bed.
Well, you should stay for it.
No.
I had a story on Channel 8 that we did on the Wander Franco situation. That's neither. But, that's an organization that refuses to spend money because they don't want to spend money. They have money, but they don't want to spend it. The Bucs have told you the last couple of years we're in it to win it. So, for me to sit here and say I'm cautiously optimistic, no, I'm all in. I believe, I have faith in this organization that they'll do the right thing. They'll do the right thing by not only their team going forward, but also by their players that have been productive. Jay Boogie.
Here's my thing. One, Harry, and Peter, in regards to Baker, and I'm going to loop this in back to Mike Evans.
Yeah.
In regards to Baker, I will say this. Peter, you have some valid points. I agree that Tampa was that only team that was willing, not only to bring Baker in, but to allow Baker to be himself. And Harry, you hit it right on the head. At the end of the day, it's going to boil down to the money. Even though I think all of these things are going to factor in, the number one thing is going to come down to is the money. Point blank, period. With that being said, I do believe that Mike Evans is somewhat a part of that equation. What is the whole point? You know, that part of that stability of Baker being himself, things of that nature, is the pieces that are in place, you know, with this organization. Baker has said that multiple times, if we want to be, you know, honest. But I do agree at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to the money. Here's the thing I think is with Mike Evans, and I'm going to take a different approach with this. And one of you I have pointed out, we got the Rondé Barber.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Derek Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to push this further, we even got the Leroy Selman.
Mm-hmm.
What does those three have in common? They played their whole career in Tampa Bay. We don't have, outside of maybe
Sapp and Lynch didn't.
You're right. Sapp and Lynch didn't. You know, you're right about that. But here's the thing. We can't say that for the offensive side of the ball. I feel offensively,
good point.
We need the Rondé Barber on the offense. We need the Derek Brooks on the offense. We need that Leroy. So we need that on offense. And right now, Mike Evans is our only opportunity right now. He has to remain a Buccaneer at all costs. He has to. I hope that we're not. And you know what, Peter? I'm going to agree with you 100% on this. I do believe in Jason Licht and Mike Green, but they have proven themselves. They have.
Without question, they have.
Yeah, and my thing is, and I'm also going to push this even further. Mike Evans is Jason Licht, the number one draft pick.
Yes, his first draft pick.
Pete, before I go.
Well, hold on. Before you go, you stand by for a moment because I'm going to put you in the lobby. Jay, I know you're somewhat of a Rays fan, correct? All right.
Yes, sir.
Stand by, guys. I got featured on WFLA talking about the Wander Franco situation here by Miss Annie Mapp. Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity. Here's the latest here. Here's the story. And here's what I have to say about it here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Enjoy.
In the Dominican Republic are searching for Tampa Bay Rays baseball player Wander Franco. The authorities are investigating Franco for an alleged relationship with a minor. News Channel 8's Annie Mapp is joining us live. She's at Tropicana Field. She has the latest details on this. Annie.
Wander Franco allegedly returned to his home country of the Dominican Republic a few weeks ago. But this week, authorities searched for him at his home and at his mother's home, but were unsuccessful. Now they are requiring the baseball player to show up for questioning tomorrow morning. It's the Santo Domingo Prosecutor's Office for Children and Adolescents that Dominican news outlets report is searching for Wander Franco.
Like a manhunt.
The 22-year-old Tampa Bay Rays shortstop has been on administrative leave since August, when allegations of the player having a relationship with a minor surfaced. That prompted an investigation by Dominican authorities and Major League Baseball.
Certainly seems like there's more. If they're especially rating his two addresses, there's more to this story. And again, it's just such a terrible optic for not only Major League Baseball, but for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Dominican news outlets report authorities are looking for Franco to question him about the alleged relationship. But so far, he's nowhere to be found. Tampa Bay Rays fan and sports show host Peter Blake says it's not a good look.
It just keeps on getting worse at this point. The longer this goes, and it's been going for 5 months now. So you kind of wonder, what the Rays are going to do on the field.
And Franco signed an 11-year, $182 million contract with the Rays in 2021, and he remains on their 40-man roster. Now, the Rays did not respond for my request for comment on this story. Reporting live in St. Petersburg, Annie Mapp, 8 on your side.
All right, there you go. Welcome back to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here. I had to point it out. I had to get your guys' thoughts on it. I know we've been talking all Bucs, but Harry, what do we make of this whole situation at this point? It's getting worse, right?
You smell that? Yep, it does smell exactly what it seems like, unfortunately. And look, stay off my threads on Facebook and X. Stop leaving me hate mail. I don't spread fake news. Look, where there's smoke, there's fire, guys. Okay? They're looking for him for a reason. They have enough evidence against them. I don't want to hear people go, how old was she? She's a minor. It's simple as that. The end. If it happened, be gone. I don't care what kind of a superstar you are. That's some sick stuff. The end. That's exactly what I have to say. I'm sorry.
All right. Good stuff there, Harry the Greek. We'll finish up with that, and then we'll get out to you, Jay Boogie. Your thoughts. I know you're a big-time Rays fan, but eventually it seems like they're going to have to definitely go a different way, and the longer this has gone on, and it's been 5 months, it's just been not only an uncomfortable situation, but it's disappointing because, Franco is your face of the franchise. You sign him to a big-time extension. Not only is he a Rays face, but also Major League Baseball young shortstop, and it's not looking good at this point.
And I hate that to be the one to say to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm gonna have to go with the Greek on this one. It's not a good look. He took the words right out of my mouth. I agree with him 1,000%. Where there's smoke, there's definitely fire. My thing is, here's the thing. Tampa is too small of a market for them to overcome something of this magnitude, in my humble opinion. And
New York
is
it'd be sick even in New York or Chicago. Call
Right.
it what it is. And it's not just one allegation.
There's
two.
Two, yeah. And
three.
And
actually, I'm sorry. I didn't even hear about the third one. Please forgive me out there.
Wait a minute, hold on. Did you say it's three?
Yeah, it's three.
Oh wow. Wow. But
but I only got massages. Remember, Deshaun? Sorry, but that's okay.
But I mean, and with that, I just don't. And I'm looking at this from a long term, standpoint. I mean, of course, I don't think that is, I don't think that it's unsafe to look at this. We have to think of the worst when it comes to this situation, and at some point, the organization have to figure out a way, how are we going to be able to recover from this? Again, Tampa is too small of a baseball market for us to be able to recover of something of this magnitude. So, clearly the Tampa Bay Rays organization, they have a decision to make when it comes to this. Yeah.
Definitely have a decision to make. All right, Harry the Greek, go ahead and promote yourself here on The Evolution.
Really nothing to promote, but I do want to switch back and talk about one thing. Let's talk about a game line. Tampa is a 2-point favorite this week at home against the New Orleans Saints. Buck fans, I want you to think about something, and this should really, really grind your gears and make you really pissed off. Do you realize if you were playing in New Orleans right now, you'd be a 1-point underdog to almost 1.5 points? When is this team going to get some respect? Even if they won 8 in a row, it'd probably be a pick'em game if it was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Anyway, bet responsibly. The Greek always says keep your bets low and your returns high. You can catch me here Monday and Wednesdays right here live on the Sports Web. Every once in a blue moon, we're going to go ahead and give out some picks. Great calls tonight. Thanks a lot for having me on, Peter. But just keep your heads up. And as Rick Hughes says, go Bucs.
You can get out of here.
See you,
All
bro.
right. See you. There you go. Here, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, Jay Boogie. Go ahead and promote yourself, my friend.
Actually, before I promote myself, Peter, if you don't mind, give me a couple of seconds. I just want to give a message to all the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, near and far. Look here. Let's not play this Sunday. Few things. If you in the city, bring your ass to the game. We need you at the game. We ain't selling no tickets. We can't blame the sun because it's my understanding it's gonna be a little cool or whatever. So I think it's gonna be in the low 60s. So dress for the weather or whatever it is that you got to do. Bring your ass. I understand for the ones that go to church, and as soon as you leave church, bring your ass to Raymond J. Buck Stadium this Sunday. We ain't got time to play. And for the ones that are there, I'm coming, Peter. I know I have to give me a second, Peter. And for the ones that are there, when we on defense, stand your ass up and make some noise. See, Raymond J, this not a movie theater. This not for you to come or whatever, sit here and eat your popcorn or whatever. No, we need you to goddamn get loud and get rowdy. Point blank, period. When we on offense, shut up. Shut up. Now's not the time to chill and scream Baker. No, shut up. You chill when we get the first down or we get a positive play or when a referee or whatever make a stupid call or whatever. But we on offense, and it's a shame that I got to tell Buck fans this, but I'm telling you all this for a reason. For the ones that be at the stadium, y'all know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, bring your ass to the stadium, support your team as we beat #DoodooThatNation. And we crowned the NFC South champion. But again, this your boy JBuck525, aka J Boogie. Hey, follow me on Twitter, JBuck525 on Twitter, JBuck525 on Instagram, JBuck525 on Facebook and my personal page. Jamal JBuck Sanders. Y'all know where to find me. Y'all know where to read. Shots out to Peter Blake. This my brother. Actually, I got my start or whatever with Peter Blake for all of you all that don't know. That's a true story, true statement. Yeah, shouts out to Peter. I enjoy every time you have me on. I love the sports web. I'm a fan, all of that. But y'all know where to find me. Hey, peace out, much love, and go Bucks.
Love it. Good stuff there, Jay Boogie, right there on the evolution of sports talk television, killing it, giving you a message out there. I love that. I absolutely love that. Yes, they're open phone lines. Yes, he could still talk about the Bucs. We will get some wrestling talk in there. I promise. Ralph, stand by. I want to read these comments, but open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Okay, let me get out to Roger. Roger, welcome to the Evolution.
Well, it's about time. I've been trying to call in for an hour.
Well, we've been talking about the Bucs. We've been talking about everything else. So what do you want?
First of all, I just want to say Happy New Year to both of you guys.
Thank you.
And
appreciate it.
I'm going to keep this really brief. Wander Franco needs to go to jail and never see the light of day again.
Well, that's certainly possible at this point, especially with all the allegations. They're just allegations, but they continue to, pop up. Now it's 3 underage girls. Now you have all this investigation by the Dominican Republic. Yeah, and it's gone on for the last 5 months. I don't know what to think at this point, but just the allegations alone, whether he's convicted or not, are terms of Major League Baseball saying he's still suspended. So I don't think he has a future with the Rays. Even if he's cleared, it's going to be a long suspension. I don't know what to think at this point. It's a totally bad optic. It's a black eye for the Rays, and it's a black eye for Major League Baseball. It's a shame.
Before there was smoke, I think now we're starting to finally see the flames.
Yep. Now it's starting to not only see the flames, but it's starting to burn. We'll see what happens tomorrow because officials are talking to him on Thursday morning.
If he shows up.
I don't know. He's supposed to show up, so you would assume he's going to show up and talk to authorities, and you go from there. I don't know what else to say about it. And again, I'm not going to be accused of putting stuff out there, clickbait. I'm just reporting on it, and I'm giving my opinion, and that's it. So,
congrats on the Channel 8 interview. I liked it.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
All right, so I will let you go. Have a great night. I'll keep watching, and great show as always.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Good stuff. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Want to get out to these comments. Ralph says Bowles is saving his job. Good comment. We'll come out to him in a minute. Trade him. All right, let's go out to Jim. Jim, welcome to the Evolution.
Man, I wonder why. I want to talk to Harry the Greek and Jay Boogie and all them.
I know. We'll get you back. We'll get him back on again. So don't worry. They'll be coming on every Wednesday night here. Jay Boogie will be coming on, giving his fan analysis and also his Bucs analysis. We want to give all the Bucs fans out there the opportunity to talk to some of these fans. Not only you'll be a fan of the Bucs, but also talk to some of these super fans that we never get an opportunity to talk to on this show.
All right, I had actually went to the an opening game when Brady came, the opening game when they played the Saints.
Right.
And ended up losing. But I actually came all the way to Tampa and went to a party that the crew did.
Right.
So, but Jay wasn't there, but it was some. I think the guy that sings, what's his name? That one, the guy that was on the phone. I think he might have been there.
Franco.
So,
yeah. He may have been there. I mean, again, he's one of the super Bucs fans. And of course, if you don't know who he is, he's the guy that always sings Victory Monday when the Bucs win. And we got him on the sports web on Sunday, got him to sing it before the fact, and it actually worked out. So, maybe that's something we keep on doing there as we were live at what the Buck tailgate.
Yeah, he was there, and then the guy that what was his name? The guy that retired that got in the Hall of Fame.
Big Nasty. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Big
Nasty. Yeah. Another great fan we got to get on here. Yeah.
It was some good fans there. So, yeah, I had a good time. So, hopefully I could be a super fan one day.
Yeah, you're a super fan because you call this show, my friend. You call it twice. So, what do you think about the Bucs and the Saints this Sunday?
Man, I'm with them, man. Let's beat, what is it, Doo-Doo That Nation?
Doo-Doo That Nation, yes. Yeah, that's what we're going to adopt here on the Sports Web. Absolutely. We're going to adopt that.
So, yeah, hopefully, man, we go ahead and take care of business.
Okay.
And I don't know, man. I got y'all. You got me worried about Baker getting somebody throwing some money at him. So.
Don't worry about it. Like, I don't, like, I know what Harry's saying. I know there's a lot of people. Like, if somebody plays well, the Bucs organization, they're not cheapskates, okay? So they'll take care of this situation. It's their money. It's not your money. You can't do anything about it. And anybody's saying, well, you got overpaid. Listen, you get paid for what you're worth. The Bucs will handle that situation. They've handled it in the past. They'll handle it again. It's not a bad thing to play well and earn another contract because there's a lot of quarterbacks out there in the past for the Bucs who have never earned a second contract besides, of course, Tom Brady. Everybody else, that has been an anomaly, if you will, and it hasn't happened. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And the Bucs, you look back at their past, they're better off with the veteran quarterback than somebody, because there's a lot of people out there, you want to draft a first-round quarterback, but you don't understand the history. I get it. They're semi-talented. But once again, Patrick Mahomes doesn't grow on trees. Josh Allen doesn't grow on trees. Those guys, are they're so unique to get. And just because you draft one doesn't necessarily mean it's going to transition over to an NFL roster, especially the Bucs. They're better off with a veteran quarterback. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think they should keep them, and I think we should. I hope we circle them, at least win one playoff game. Would be pretty nice for me.
Yeah,
that'd be a great season for me. So
absolutely. All right, Jim, we got to run, my friend. We're going to talk about Turnbuckle Talk. I'm going to get this guy on. I promise I'll read the comments when I get done, and you can call back if you want to. All right, that's
all right, man. Take it easy. Yep.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Good stuff. I want to get out to Ralph here because we do have some wrestling talk, and then we'll get back to Bucs talk here because I know there's lots of comments. I want to read all your comments, so hang with me. If I didn't read your comments while you're on live, we'll do it next time. Just tune in. Let's go out to Mr. Ralph Williams, bodyguard of the Berg, Pittsburgh's newest radio personality. Lots of Bucs talk tonight, my friend. Lots of guests. Your overall thoughts of not only about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but also your Pittsburgh Steelers, because you were kind of talking about, Mike Tomlin being fired, and then you got that performance by Mason Rudolph. Has he saved his job? Welcome to the Evolution.
Well, Mason Rudolph saved his job, Peter. Smoking Jim Frazier, my co-host on my radio show and friend, he said to me that he thought Mason, we both agreed, and we've been with each other for a while now on our TV show and now on the radio show. And we both said Mason Rudolph should have been a starting quarterback when Pickett was drafted.
Wow.
They should have never brought in Mitch Trubisky. It was a waste of money. And Mason's a good quarterback. And he hung out around behind Ben, and he watched, and he did this. He played a few games here and there, did some stuff. Don't forget, Peter, a few years back, the last year Ben was here, which I believe was in 21.
Yeah.
We beat, 21. We beat the Cleveland Browns. We lost to the Cleveland Browns 24-22. Mason had a great game. The defense gave up too many points. Okay. And he had a great game playing for Ben. And then when Ben came back, we had to play Cleveland again in the playoffs, so we got blown out.
Yeah.
So Mason Rudolph is not a bad quarterback. It's just the fact that mediocre Mike here decided not to use him over the years. And, of course, he sat behind Ben Roethlisberger. But unlike Jordan Love, at least Jordan Love's been able to make his way into the lineup. And even this year, Mason Rudolph hasn't started. And I think it's a crime. But I hope that he does well. Enough to win, only because Mason Rudolph is starting. That's the only reason I'm saying this. I don't want Mike Tomlin here anymore. I think it's time for a change. And I'm hearing now from a national source, NBA, NFL. They said that they heard that he's going to get Mike Tomlin's going to get a contract extension win, lose, or draw at the end of the season. And I don't know what the ownership's thinking here.
Because they're thinking a guy that has consistently been a winner. And look, you can sit there and say, they only have one Super Bowl in that amount of time, but he's a consistent winner. Furthermore, any team right now, if you let Mike Tomlin go, he would be the first call because he is so consistent.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with you on that, Peter. I do not. I don't disagree. But I think it's time for him to make a change, and I think it's time for the Steelers to make a change. I think they need to part ways. Let him go wherever he's going to go, whether it's Tampa or wherever. I don't know. That he goes. Let him go. Let him do whatever he's going to do there. Let's hope the Steelers don't play him. And that's you know what I mean. And let us start all over. Get rid of some of these people with bad attitudes. We're playing another team this week, the Seattle Seahawks. Friend of mine, former radio show host here, Vinny Riccici, was on my show on yesterday, and he said that Seattle's like the Steelers, an undisciplined football team. The same way. So, I mean, and you got two undisciplined football teams playing each other. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. All right, let's turn our focus to Turnbuckle talk here. Let's start out with.
Can I say something real quick? I know you guys are having issues on the Rays with that guy, the one that you guys were talking about. Yeah. We had Felipe Vasquez here, and Felipe Vasquez was a great relief pitcher. Made the All-Star game, pitched a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and he did the same thing. Okay, so the Pirates are embarrassed too, just like Tampa.
Well, and again, were there signs of it? Who knows? I mean, you didn't hear anything, but the more you dig into it, and it's not just one; it's multiple at this point. Again, there are allegations, but the longer this goes, the worse off not only the Rays but Major League Baseball look. And even if he is cleared of this, that there's some type of suspension that's going to come down. So we'll see how that plays out. And if it doesn't play out in the Rays' favor, the Rays can always go after that contract. And I think that's what they're going to look at. Now, let's talk about not necessarily playing out in their favor. Let's go out to Bill Goldberg here, appearing on the Steve and Captain Evil podcast, which is interesting. And he says, Goldberg said he agreed to face and lose to Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia in February of 2022. On the condition that he would be able to get out on his own terms in WWE. He says, I owed McMahon everything until we went to Saudi Arabia, and he asked me to put Roman Reigns over, and I had COVID. I remember calling him from my house, and I said, listen, here is the deal. I'll do it if you give me a retirement match. I did what it was asked. As a performer, I was 56 years old, and as a human being, you're conscientious of how you look in a bathing suit, especially 2 months prior to being in that bathing suit. You couldn't work out because you had COVID. I put myself in a horribly crappy situation to get what I wanted. I didn't say crappy, of course, but to give him what he wanted. The retirement match never happened, and the loss to Reigns turned out to be the final appearance on Goldberg's WWE contract, prompting him to say, Vince is a piece of, as far as I'm concerned. What do we make of this? Because we heard rumors that Goldberg wanted a retirement match in WWE, didn't necessarily get that, and also was interested in going to AEW possibly and having something to do with Sting, because Sting is about to retire in a couple months. So what do we make of this, Ralph?
I think Goldberg should fight his retirement match against Sting. My question is, if he does retire this time, is he going to? I mean, is he actually going to stay out of the business? Or he'll probably have a podcast, or, he has some acting experience. He'll probably get another movie gig or a series or a commercial. Yeah. So I would like to see that match, Goldberg and Sting. That'd be a great match. I have some news for you. I don't know if you heard, excuse me, Rhea Ripley was hurt in a live show at a house show, and she's injured now and is in the hospital.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully that's not a storyline, because she was just named female wrestler of the year by ESPN. We'll get into that in a moment. Let's go out to Kevin Sullivan. He believes WWE Women's Champion is near the top. He says about Charlotte Flair, she is the best worker in the wrestling business right now. Again, this is from Kevin Sullivan, of course, Tuesday with the Taskmaster, which he has his own wrestling podcast, which we have to get him on here sometime maybe. I don't want to sound like I'm in the past completely, but what the Queen does now, it's phenomenal. When you talk about some of the greatest workers of all time back in the day, when you're talking about Ray Stevens and Nick Ballwinkle and Hulk Hogan and all these guys, you have to put Charlotte right in there with them. You talk about a real athlete. People talk about the salaries of pro wrestlers. If you ever come down, there was a few companies that were sold, like Vince McMahon and Tony Khan. They'd be paying $12 to $17 million for a girl like Charlotte. What do we think of Kevin Sullivan's comments?
Charlotte's a good wrestler. She is a great performer, just like her father was. And the only downfall right now is she's hurt. So, I mean, she's going to be out for a little while, and we don't know when she's coming back. And, it would have been nice to see her in a Royal Rumble, but that's not going to happen, obviously.
Right.
I hope that this contract that the WWE made her sign, I hope that there's a, that she does perform to the contract.
Yeah, and I also think there's a possibility which may open it up for Mercedes Moné, a.k.a.
Yes.
Sasha Banks, the boss. There was a report out there, the reason why she hasn't necessarily come back to WWE or gone to AEW is because she wants Charlotte type of money. So true or false, because Charlotte is out with an injury and because the women's division is kind of up in the air right now, you still have talent, but, it's not necessarily the greatest talent at this point. You still don't know what Jade Cargill is going to do.
Right.
Do you feel like they could pay Mercedes Moné, a.k.a. Sasha Banks, the boss, to get her back in WWE, or do you think she goes to AEW? Because I would say this, if she was wanting to go to AEW, the deal would probably already be done. But there's something holding her back, and I feel like Triple H is the guy that's going to get it done. What do you say?
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to sign Sasha Banks regardless of what the money is. She's a great performer, and it's great, and that'll just boost the, the WWE, their women's division better than it's ever been if you bring her back. And also, don't forget Jade Cargill. Both of them are supposed to be in a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this. I'm for surprises, and I like what I'm hearing so far as the rumors go with that.
Well, and of course, a lot of people were surprised by CM Punk. He comes out to
yes.
MSG.
Oh, yeah, that was a shock and a half.
Yes.
But Mercedes Moné said she'll never go to AEW.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
and again, that is a wrestler that definitely admired a CM Punk, and I could definitely see AEW right now with what's going on. I don't know if it's MJF because the rumors are that he signed an extension. I could see an FTR, which is up for contract renewal with AEW, going back to WWE because of the influence of CM.
And Ricky Starks also too, Peter.
There you go.
Going too. QT Marshall's already hit the road too.
Well, there you go.
He's going to WWE.
Well, there you go. So CM Punk definitely makes a difference. And again, it goes back to the report last week. I don't know what you thought about this or if we touched upon it enough, but because WWE got CM Punk, the TV deal right now is in flux. In fact, it's up in the air with Warner Brothers Discovery. Easy for me to say. It was all assumed that AEW had a TV deal, and now it seems like WWE is, you're looking at Raw at this point, or SmackDown, excuse me. Is it Raw? I think it's Raw.
It's Raw, yes. Raw don't have a TV deal right now.
I think it's interesting that if CM Punk leaving AEW cost them a TV deal and it goes to Raw, I think that's ironic in itself.
Well, it is, but I will say this: Tony Khan got egg on his face because he shouldn't have let CM Punk go, regardless of the situation.
Thank you.
Okay, he knew CM Punk was money, and ever since CM Punk has left, attendance for AEW events have been low. In fact, they're talking about skimming down the arenas that they're playing in. Some of the ones that they're in right now, they can't even fill, and they're looking at 2,000, 1,000 seat arenas and going small like NXT and like Impact Wrestling and ROH and all that. That's what they're looking to do.
All right, let me go back out to the two-shot here. What you're watching right now is Turnbuckle Talk on the Evolution. If you have any wrestling questions, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to ESPN. Female Wrestler of the Year, Rhea Ripley. Dominance from her. Also dominance in NXT UK. Foretold of her time, the eradicator of the main roster. Now she's without question the biggest name in the wrestling business. Agree with that?
Yes, absolutely, I do. I do know she's frustrated right now because they have her beat, at one point beating up men, and she's real frustrated with creative because they're not putting her in matches with women, and a lot of matches with women. She wants more matches with women than beating up men, and
Well,
this was WWE's idea.
Well, and that becomes difficult because she is such a force, and you can only
Yes.
have so many squash matches. So that's why it would make sense. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody wants to see
I
that
know what
all
you mean.
the time,
Yeah,
right? So
right,
Jade Cargill and Charlotte, you already seen Charlotte. So Jade Cargill, I think, is the eventual opponent. All right, men's wrestler of the
well,
year.
also Becky Lynch too. They're talking about now.
Oh yeah,
I
Becky
read
Lynch.
something today
Yeah,
about Becky Lynch.
I mean, you could definitely see that, but there's only so many women's wrestlers that can match up with her physical dominance. So
Nia Jax.
well, she's terrible in the ring, though.
I know.
That's the problem. She's terrible in the ring, and not only is she terrible
So
in
it's
the ring,
Niven.
right? She's gonna hurt. She's gonna hurt another wrestler. So you may have
Yeah.
another injury, and right now WWE cannot afford that. Male wrestler of the year, Cody Rhodes, according to ESPN. Of course, he earned the right to challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 39. He loses that, has a battle with Brock Lesnar, teaming up with the Bloodline outcast of Jey Uso, Yeet. And who could forget, the press conference where both of them come there and they seem like they're had a little bit too much to drink. The runners-up are Roman Reigns, MJF, and Will Ospreay, a three-way tie. You agree with Cody Rhodes? Because this is kind of surprising. I thought that it was going to be Roman Reigns, MJF, or even Will Ospreay with the match he had against Kenny Omega.
Well, I don't know about Will Ospreay other than that match, but Roman Reigns, MJF, yes. Even though I'm not a big Roman Reigns fan because I don't like the way he conducts himself as a part-time wrestler, and I don't like the way he's not around the program all that much and whatnot these days, and and so that's why I have no respect for Roman Reigns at all. So I mean, just like I don't like Logan Paul, I don't like part-time champions, Peter. I can't stand them. I mean, they need to stop doing this. WWE.
You feel like they're going to continue to do it unless they take the belt off of Reigns, and most likely that'll happen at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.
I hope so.
All right, tag team of the year, FTR AEW. Dax Harwood, of course, Cash Wheeler didn't run away with the award. The other runner-up was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Do we agree that FTR is the best tag team in the business? Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is a pretty good storyline, but
it is.
You look at technically sound, old school wrestling, and I believe, tag team wrestling in WWE is not there. Triple H is starting to bring it back, but it was kind of frowned upon. You don't have that division anymore. FTR and AEW is probably one of the best things they got going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. FTR is going to be, I agree with you on that. And they have fought a lot of matches. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were put together. They fought a lot of matches too. But I like FTR. I do. I think they should be in that position. And I wish they still had the titles in AEW. But I think because they're going to go back to the WWE, that's why they don't.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to ESPN's list here. Debut of the year, CM Punk, WWE, 71 million and counting. Nobody knew it was going to happen. The runner-up is Mercedes Moné. I mean, is there any doubt that was probably the most shocking return in wrestling history? And just the way they played it out, because it seemed like the pay-per-view is over. You got the graphic. You got Michael Cole saying, "We'll see you next time." And then, boom, the music hits, and every friggin' body that was in the United Center absolutely loses their mind. And not only everybody in the United Center loses their mind, but every wrestling fan out there. If you watch this show, I wasn't surprised by it. Everybody, the reports kept on coming out. CM Punk was not going back to WWE. There was no way. But I told you, if it's all about business, and if it makes you money, if it makes WWE and Triple H money, they're going to make it happen. And there's already a natural storyline there with Seth Rollins. So they got it right. Best debut of a wrestler this year, CM Punk by far, right?
Oh, absolutely. The his return was a question mark. Nobody knew where he was going. There were rumors he was going to Impact. He showed up there. There were rumors he was going to re-sign with AEW. There was rumors he was going to go in the independent circuit. There was rumors of all kinds with CM Punk. He was going to drive a cab. There was all kinds of rumors. So, going to the WWE was a big surprise because Vince McMahon pledged he'll never, ever come back. But Vince McMahon's no longer around to run the show. See, Triple H is running it, and he did what's best for business.
That's it. It's all about what's best for business.
And his merchandising, even before that, Peter, was up sky high. I mean, they were selling shirts. They can't keep up with the merchandise with CM.
Of course. And this is what I talked about when he left AEW. He was still the highest seller. He was still drawing all kinds of ratings. All right. I tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines here. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on Turnbuckle Talk.
Eric from Lakeland, Florida.
What's going on? Oh, what's going on, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big wrestling fan. I was like, man, Peter's talking about wrestling. I actually can't wait for the Rumble. I'll be there with my friend and his dad.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's gonna be electric. It's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good night. And I think, the Royal Rumble is right up there with WrestleMania.
Yes.
In fact, I think it's probably a better pay-per-view because the WrestleMania is always going to be the greatest. But you don't know about the Royal Rumble. And, of course, you talk about, the 31 superstars and who's going to win it. Yes, exactly. That's why I think it's the best.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's going to be a Tropicana. So you can't beat it. It's going to be here locally. So you got to love that, Eric. All right. So what do you expect out of that? What do you expect?
A lot of people saying that Punk will win the Rumble and Orton's going to fight Reigns for the title.
Okay.
Maybe Orton will beat Reigns at the Rumble.
I don't know about that. I still see them finishing off this story with Cody Rhodes. I would be completely shocked if they go with Randy Orton. But Orton is definitely one of the best workers in the business. He's over with the crowd. You got to love his new gimmick. I still think they're gonna. Yeah, the Rock thing was last year. They talked about it. I think it's past. You go with Cody. I agree with Ralph. If you don't want a part-time champion, you take the belt off of Roman, but you do it right at WrestleMania.
They have plans for Randy Orton, guys. They're going to have Randy Orton fight Logan Paul at WrestleMania for the U.S. title.
Wow, there you go. So right there, that's
the rumor I'm hearing.
That's good stuff. That'll definitely get that kid over. And again, he continues to get into those matches. The more work, the more reps, and the more publicity, the more either you hate him or you love him. The guy is supremely talented, being Paul.
Any chance you guys have the Rumble?
I don't know if I'm going to be there. I'm going to try. I'm going to try like hell to get credentialed. We'll see if we can get credentialed with the Sports Web, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know.
I've tried. Right? I've struck out.
Yeah, so. That's all right.
All right.
I
Eric,
can't even get him here.
Anything else, Eric?
Off topic a little bit, so I'm going to keep it like that.
Okay.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Good stuff.
Have a great night, Eric. Happy New Year.
Let's go ahead and finish this up here because I want to get you out of here on that promo.
I have a few minutes, Peter. I'm in no hurry tonight.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. A couple more. Promo Artist of the Year, MJF of AEW.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now let me look at the choices on this. The runner-up was LA Knight. LA Knight does cut some great promos. Yeah. But MJF.
We talked to you.
Yeah, MJF to me is the guy that cuts the best promos. Agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely, he does. And I'm going to be talking to you. We're starting this coming Tuesday. I'm going to be having a year in sports review show, but January 9th, I start my wrestling segment on Sports Corner, and I'm going to be talking to you.
Yeah, let me talk to you. And he's always had the gimmick.
I love LA Knight. I liked him when he was Eli Drake.
I did too.
In Impact. I loved him. I mean, you big dummy. He called everybody a dummy.
Dummy. Yeah. I love it. I don't know why he wasn't over. I don't know why it took it so many years. And it goes back to Breakthrough Wrestler of the Year, LA Knight.
Hey, look at how long it took Sting to get to the WWE and AJ Styles and all these guys.
Yeah,
you know?
just it's weird. It's crazy. AJ Styles, I mean, so many years in TNA and of course Impact, what he could have done in WWE as a talented wrestler. He's always been
Sting,
talented.
I would have thought Sting would have been in a way long time ago, and it just didn't happen that way.
Well, it didn't happen to WWE because he didn't trust Vince. And you know what? You look at it, he shouldn't have, because Triple H went over on him at WrestleMania, and I felt like it should have been Sting in the first place. If there's anything,
yes,
for me that would have helped. But that's how it goes. LA Knight, the breakthrough wrestler, runner-up Swerve Strickland, who, if you watch him in AEW,
Swerve has been doing a really good job. Yeah,
highly talented. LA Knight by far, right?
Yes, LA Knight and Swerve Strickland has been doing one heck of a job. The way he went in deep into this Continental Championship tournament, and he lost tonight to John Moxley, so it's going to be Moxley versus Eddie Kingston for the Continental title. So,
all right, match of the year: Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, Forbidden Door, Wrestle Kingdom. I watched it; it was amazing. Is that the best match of the year that you've seen?
I would believe so, yes. But I feel bad for Kenny Omega right now. So,
why is that?
Well, he's in case you haven't heard, he was in the hospital. He's got some kind of disease, and he's going to be gone for a little while. And he almost died. So he's got something. I can't remember what it was called. I have to look it up.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and
so
finish.
He's going to be gone for a while. Jericho has to get another partner for Saturday, and I think he has one as of tonight. Sammy Guevaro's back. So I think him and Sammy are teaming up, and he got away from Don Callis tonight.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense at all, because they built that storyline up, and now there's that's the problem with AEW. You put the faction, and the next thing you know, they're friends again. That's not how wrestling storylines work.
No.
All right,
I got some news for you about Judgment Day if you want to hear it.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I'm hearing that Damian Priest and Finn Balor and of course JD McDonough are going to all be gone. Rhea Ripley is bringing in the AOP. And I believe, AOP is going to be two of them, and I forget who the third person's going to be there. She's bringing in.
And I've heard the exact opposite. I heard AOP is going to be with Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Okay, yeah. Well, I heard Judgment Day today, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. All right, pay-per-view event of the year, WrestleMania 39. By any shadow of a doubt that AEW was any better than WWE at this point, especially WrestleMania 39?
No, not right now. Some of their Tony Khan has been criticized for his booking. And of course, here's a guy that has money. He loves wrestling, but he knows nothing about what to do. And he pissed off his vice president so bad that, the Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and whatnot, he irritated Cody Rhodes to where he quit. Kevin Sullivan, this other Kevin Sullivan, not the wrestler, of course. One of his top producers has left. And now, Matt Jackson's wife just left. She was in charge of merchandising. See, sometimes you think your doo-doo don't stink, and just because you got money, you think you can run a wrestling company, and you have no idea what you're doing. And you should have stuck with the people who knew what they were doing: the Jerichos, the Omegas, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes, the guys who started this. They were the ones who got this going, and helped you do this. And you stab in the back. Yeah. And, now you want to do it all. And now Tony Khan's got huge egg on his face because now he's lost now with what he's been doing.
All right. Last one here. Best storyline of the year. Bloodline 2.0. Runner-up was MJF and Adam Cole. Agree with that?
MJF and Adam Cole. Yeah. The Bloodline, that was a good storyline. Yes, it was.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I thought the Bloodline was a great storyline, and it's now starting to fall. Judgment Day is going to fall too. I think they're coming up with some other stuff, with maybe some other factions. Yeah. I'm hearing Sanctuary's coming back, so we'll see where that goes. For like the fifth time.
Yeah, too many factions for me. All right, Ralph. Well, I'm sorry it's abbreviated to a certain degree. We did talk some wrestling. Right. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Oh yeah, I have RW Media Productions. We have I have several shows. Check them out on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitch, Facebook and Twitter X platforms is where you can find me. You can also find me on LinkedIn, and I also have my own radio show every Tuesday now, 4 to 6 p.m. This Tuesday we're doing the Year in Sports Review Spectacular. I have several national and local people coming on as well to talk about the year in sports for 2023, not only just locally in Pittsburgh, but nationally. And I'm the only media person in Pittsburgh that's doing this kind of thing. This hasn't been done in a long time. I did it on my TV show, and I'm doing it again on radio now, the first time on radio in about 25 or 30 years that they've had this kind of spectacular. So I'm doing it now.
Awesome. Good stuff, Ralph. Thanks a lot for your time here on the
I'm like the Jeffersons, Peter. I'm moving on up.
Moving on up, my friend. All right. Thanks a lot,
That's right.
Ralph.
Yeah, there you go. Moving on up in the world, man. In the world. So, don't forget next year we come back with Wrestle Talk and External Bum Podcast and several other stuff. So
hold on, I got something for you. Well, we're moving on. There you go. All right, Ralph. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution. All right.
Hey, at least I'm not Sanford and Son in a junk heap. You know.
Exactly. All right. There you go. Let me get him out of there. All right. We'll read the rest of these comments and we'll end off for the night here. But I want to get back to these comments because, everybody wrote something and I want to make sure we get them. Everybody I want to make sure we read everything. The difference of the Bucs now, Dave Canales calling a better game. Baker is executing. Good comment by Scott. Gary says Bucs are getting better every week. Absolutely. Scott, defensively, can't see Diaby getting pressure and doing great, getting pressure up front. Great things happen on defense. And Scott, you're absolutely mentioning it. Those are the two building blocks for this Bucs defense going forward. Jason Light, once again, doing a great job. Hello, how you doing today? What's going on, King? How you doing? Tim says maybe Baker will get comeback player of the year. Definitely Franco Baker for comeback player of the year. Absolutely. Bobby says, do you think Baker and Mike will be back in 2024? I heard teams are lined up to sign Mike. They could be lined up to sign Mike, but I tell you right now, I still think the Bucs will get this deal done. And if you didn't catch the Sal Palantonio interview here, go ahead and catch it on my wall. That gives me great confidence, if you will, and I think they'll get it done. I do. I might be wrong, but the only losses the Bucs have had double digits this year was against the Lions and the 49ers. Otherwise, they've been in every game all season, which is one of the reasons why they've been great against the spread. Absolutely. Good stuff, Ben. Antoine Winfield's going to miss our defensive player of the year, just like it's taken a decade from Mike Evans to get his respect for being one of the best. Justin, you're absolutely correct about that. And Winfield Jr. absolutely deserves consideration for not only being the best safety in the league with his statistics and numbers and what he brings to the game in that defense, but also defensive player of the year. He means that much to that Bucs defense. Let's go out to Ben. Fournette never got 1,000 yards in the season for the Bucs, right? I don't think he did. Trade Rashad. He will never be a Doug Martin work done. Thanks, Anthony. Who dat? The Saints are not going to win against the Bucs. The Bucs are going to win. I hope we win the game and Super Bowl. Let's see what happens from here. You just never know. But the team that's getting hot at the right time here, Giovanni, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it starts, of course, on Sunday. Extend that winning streak. Win the NFC South. And put the Saints out of their misery. Franco for jail in 2024. Tim says, I heard the Raiders were going to go after Josh Rosen. Very good, Tim. Randy Moss said he was the greatest receiver. Doesn't necessarily mean he is the greatest receiver. Everybody knows who that is. It is Jerry Rice. But putting that in perspective, if Mike Evans has another 1,000-yard receiving season, he ties Jerry Rice and a couple more. He surpasses Jerry Rice. So automatically, to me, he's a Hall of Famer, if not already. Baker is going to get at least $16 to $20 million per year with incentives right now. Good comment. We read that. Eddie Kingston just beat Brian Danielson clean. Interesting. KR, evening, guys. Thank you, KR, for tuning in. Merry New Year. Merry New Year, of course. If Baker truly wants to stay here, he will end up taking less than what he could elsewhere. And I think it's not just about money. Once again, it's about being comfortable in that system. And people go, well, Baker's gone to multiple teams and he hasn't been successful. Well, because you have multiple systems. You have multiple coaches. You have multiple players. Who's to say he wouldn't take less money because he is so comfortable with the system? I'm not saying he's going to take $10 million. No, don't get me wrong. I think $25 to $30 million is certainly something that the Bucs and him will look at. We'll see how it goes. But I think also, taking out, those other things that we talked about tonight, being comfortable in the system, everything like that. Also having Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Listen, there's a reason why Baker Mayfield chose the Bucs. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, that helps your situation out, does it not? Okay. They're still here. All right, let's go out to Anthony Richardson. Steak dinner for those greasy burgers at Steak and Shake. Thank you, Anthony, for contributing absolutely nothing as always.
This guy sucks.
Tim, the reason the offense is coming together is because Dave Canales stuck with the plan he devised, and the players have had time to get used to it. Exactly. There's some gelling of the offensive line. The wide receivers are getting comfortable. The quarterback is getting comfortable. Everything is starting to work. They believe in it. Something turned on after the Atlanta game, especially that last drive. This will be Baker's last long-term contract. He will get paid here or somewhere else. And again, I'm not against saying he wants to go somewhere else. I just think it's going to be quite difficult. I mean, look, if you're Baker Mayfield, do you want to go somewhere else and learn a new system, or do you want to stay with the same system? That's what it comes down to. And maybe you take a little less money. But in the end, it's probably better off for you. You know why? Because your team has the flexibility to sign their own players. That is important. He's not 21, 22 years old. He's 28. He understands the game. He has to understand. He's matured. He likes what the organization has provided him with the opportunity to be himself. The Bucs are going to re-sign Winfield, who will demand a huge contract. They have to re-sign Evans now and cannot let him go. Brandon says Baker MVP. Okay. Baker Super Bowl. We'll see. Scott, bold prediction. The Bucs will be using the franchise tag on someone this upcoming year. Certainly possible. Playing in the weakest division really makes Baker look like a GOAT. I mean, again, you put out this stuff, but you don't look at the whole NFC. You want to say that this is the weakest division, but the whole NFC right now is in flux. So what are you talking about? You're giving me nothing like always. Absolutely nothing.
Shitter!
31 says Jerome. Absolutely. Rob, Daniel Jones is the reason Baker will get 25 to 30 million per year, not 40 to 50. Exactly. Teams are not going to repeat that same mistake. When Daniel Jones signed that contract, I get it, quarterback market is out there. But, it was off of what? 1 year performance? The guy didn't even have 20 touchdowns. He had 20 touchdowns total. What do you have, 15 touchdowns? Throwing 15 touchdowns and give him $40 million? Come on, man. Anthony, where's Mr. Williams? Not here. He'll call in eventually. Jerome, 31 will get a long-term deal. Baker might get the tag. Or Evans. Roger, Baker should not take less money. He should go where the money is. But again, you're missing the point. You guys are all about getting the money where you're at. Maybe he takes a little bit less money than you would get somewhere else. Like the Raiders, they're a god-awful team. They may be looking for a quarterback. They may be trying to overpay for a quarterback. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the perfect situation. You guys don't take that into account. It's just all about money, money, money. That's simplistic. That's not the way a player is thinking all the time. And every player is not the same. They're not going to think the same thing. They're not. Kareem. Jamal, J. Buck, Sanders, Boogie. Absolutely. Rob, it's funny everyone is debating this considering 4 weeks ago nobody liked him. Laugh out loud. Absolutely. There's still some Bucs fans out there. Don't believe it. I get it. He's been inconsistent in his career. Why has he been inconsistent in his career? Multiple head coaches, multiple teams, multiple systems. Sit here all you want to and scream at the top of the rooftops that he's not getting paid the money that he deserves. And it's not about that. It's about stability. That's what it's about. And guess what? If he starts winning Super Bowls, or he starts becoming consistent, or he starts becoming comfortable in that situation with an organization, guess what? He's going to get paid even more money. And he's going to start to look like one of the top quarterbacks in the league like he's looked this year. It's not that hard. All right. Rob, 4 weeks ago, I wanted him back because if anything, we have quarterback depth if we drafted a rookie. Greg says, Olaf from Costa Rica, go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Nicholas says, new defensive tackle, Julius Thor Bjornsson. I don't know who that is. What's up, Peter and Harry? Thanks a lot, Dave, for tuning in. What's up, Jay Buck? Absolutely, Greg. Tagging Mayfield would cost too much, in my opinion. Kareem says, Ron O'Feckett. El Bushman, what's up, fellas? What's going on, Bush? Jay Buck is definitely one of the best diehard fans I know. Absolutely. That's why we have him here. Jay Buck has been a friend of mine for a while. Nobody is more deserving of that ball than him. My man Jay, absolutely agree with that. Good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's go out to sit and go Bucks. Absolutely go Bucks. Let's go out to Scott. If Yaya Diaby gets double-digit sacks, he deserves Rookie Defensive Player of the Year. Completely agree with that. And that's a guy that hasn't had an opportunity to start fully for a year. And then also you look at it, and again, I'm a guy that's very optimistic about this and also watched a lot of football in my lifetime. How better is he going to be off with these reps that he's getting right now? How is he going to be? How much better is he going to be in the second year of this defense? How much more comfortable? How much better can Yaya Diaby get? How much better can Kalijah Kancey get better in this defense? Oh my goodness. All right. Tampa is also dangerous. Anyone can get it. Also, JTS has found his calling on special teams. Anthony, me and Peter have also gotten into fights when we were spotted by Bucs Report. Not true. Turnbuckle talk started early. Laugh out loud. Tim says Philly is the armpit of America. That's a good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Rob. Drew Brees just kept killing us year after year. Agreed. Jim says open phone lines. Yes, come on. I took your phone call already. Thank you very much for calling. Shanisa, thanks a lot for tuning in. Another big Bucs fan right there. Unbelievable Bucs fan. That's true. Can't argue with those facts. I think she was agreeing with me, ladies and gentlemen. And why wouldn't she agree with me? Because this is the evolution of sports talk television. Jim says laugh out loud. Byron says the majority of Saints fans were Cowboy fans. I completely believe that. Scott, Saints fans were Cowboy fans before Drew Brees. Boo boo that nation. Let's go out to Jim. Laugh out loud. Let's go out to Tom. Don't mind me. I'm just putting extra ketchup on my dog. You better stop. You still have somebody on the phone? I do. Let's go. Anthony says it's always been hard to beat Brady when he cried and paid the refs. Yeah, of course. Derek Tricycle, Shanisha, delusional fan base. Absolutely. Javon, do that nation ain't. There you go. Jim says, let's go Buccaneers. Absolutely. Let's go! Scott says, when the Aints got to their Super Bowl, had Favre not had a brain fart and threw that interception, they would never got to the Super Bowl. I mean, what is he thinking? But, of course, that was the Bounty Gate team that took all kinds of shots. Like, I don't know how still to this day, because if you had NFL rules that were calling, like they were calling to protect quarterbacks, they would have been multiple penalized in that game. That would be the Saints. Over and over again, players have been thrown out with some of the shots. Sitton says, F the Saints. Jim says, okay. 26-9, Javon, absolutely. Hi, what's going on, Shadow? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Can we talk about Yaya? Absolutely. We can always talk about Yaya if you want to. He's been tremendous. I don't know how this kid lasted into the third round. But, congratulations to Jason Light and once again the front office. Todd Bowles even. Finding a guy that's just a man among boys at this point. Everyone, what's going on? Shanisha, including the Eagles. Mike, hey guys, Bedard scores Greek. $25 to $30 million. Agree. Mayfield will want $18 to $25 million per year. Agree. Sitting, if you get Baker $15 million, how much do you get Mike Evans? Again, not my problem. I'm not good in math and didn't do well in math in college. That's not my problem. That is a cap issue. But I would caution you to say that the Bucs have been able to take care of this situation in the past, and they'll be able to do it again. Again, there's a lot of capologists out there who want to worry about this. Let them do that. They'll get that done. If they want to keep you, they'll keep you. There was another sports broadcaster who used to say that in this market. If you get Baker Mayfield $15 million, how much do you get Mike Evans? Good question. I don't know. Week 18, go Bucs. Jags will lose this weekend. Go Bears. Christopher Cole, $19 to $21 million. Mike, when the Bucs went on Sunday, give Trask the start in Charlotte. Don't think it's going to happen. I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that want it to happen, but I think you keep what you have here. The momentum is going with this offense. Why bench Baker and the rest of this offense? Why do it? Baker's next contract will have plenty of ducats of ketchup to smother on his red hots. Thank you, Tom. Facts, preach sugar. Absolutely, I will. Those are also factors that must be considered. Yes, thank you. Everybody's all about money. He's going to want more money. Bucs are not going to be able to. What is this? A poverty franchise? We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're a poverty franchise now. Did we see the last couple of years what they did with Tom Brady? Did we see what the Glazers did with going all in? They're a poverty franchise now. Oh, by the way, the salary cap that's in the National Football League, it's a joke. It's a complete and total joke, in my opinion. It is. I get it. You have the $75 million in dead money. Okay. But the Saints every year are in cap hell, and they're still able to trade for players and sign players. I mean, it's like the national debt, man. 1 trillion, 3 trillion, stack it up, don't matter. You still got everything going on right now with the national debt. I mean, get over it. Come on. They make all kinds of money. Preach on, Peter. Absolutely, I will. I'll also give you this. Nice here. Greek looking good. Tom says Harold is still the second best handicapper at his house. Anthony says, read the comments, bro. Oh, my God. Give to YouTube super chats, bro, if you want me to read your comments. He has no consistency. Brady never took the money. He took less to be surrounded by better players. Maybe Baker took notes. Thank you, Rob. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Anisha says, I'm always like Baker. You know I'm right. Anthony Richardson, the only reason why you guys went at it is because you are too chicken to call in. You never call in, Anthony. You're exactly right. You know I'm right. Good comment there. Scott says it would be such a great idea to get him to do a live pregame from What the Buck. Well, we did that. We'll see if we can get other people on. Joseph McGrath says he's finally playing like everyone expected him to play. He's already made $50 million. I'm not saying we'll get him for $500,000, but we'll get added value because he likes the team. Thank you. Let the truth set you free. I think we've also given management a reason to keep and find a way to pay Evans. Again, going back to it. Shawnisha says he deserves to retire here. Agree, period. Wow, absolutely. Let's go out to Byron. The priority needs to be Evans, Wirtz, Winfield, and then White. I don't think White's coming back. This is the same organization that let Sapp and Lynch walk. Nothing would surprise me. But with that being said, you're exactly right. Sapp played for 1 year. Lynch, played a little bit longer. And they learned from that. They got some PR backlash. And I think the Glazers learned from that. And I don't think they're going to repeat those same type of mistakes. Very few thought M13 would keep his streak alive with Baker throwing him the ball. And guess what? He did. Facts. Shawnisa again. M13 is a huge part of Baker's success. Exactly. Scott. They thought they had their replacement in Jermaine Phillips and Booger. Good point, Scott. And boy, were they wrong. Jennifer, Evans is a must sign, but not all at cost. We cannot pay him big money for 5 years because it will kill us in the year 3, 4, or 5 when his skills diminish. But you can always roll. You're exactly right. You can always restructure it. I get what you're saying. You're exactly right. When wide receivers get 30, they get older, their skills do diminish. So that contract is there. Scott Bradford, neither of them should have ever won in another jersey. Scott, no, they shouldn't have. Scott, again, sadly, we get a generational player in Wander, and he turns out to be not a good person. Kareem, point blank, period. Jennifer, thank you. Preach. Thank you. Raina, did you give stars? If you did, thank you very much. I don't know what that is, but thanks a lot for tuning in.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to David, everybody. Buy the woman around you an extra beer or two so they can get louder. Hopefully next season I'll have the money to get season tickets. Okay, Christopher Cole, work on that. And I saw a picture of Carr in his jersey. Someone used above his name and wrote sale below his number. So it looked like a used car for sale. And Jim, finally, Mike Tomlin gone. No, sir. Thanks a lot to all the guests tonight. Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Of course, Jay Boogie and Ralph Williams. We'll be back before the game. I'm definitely doing a pregame from What the Buck. Tailgate there live right across the street from Raymond James Stadium as we get you ready here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television for Bucs versus the Saints. Bucs win. They win the NFC South. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Like I Love St. Pete, of course, Bucs Life, and all the great platforms out there. Give to Facebook stars. If you like the content, give to it. If you like the content on YouTube Super Chats. Do 3 things. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, especially you Bucs fans, it's your time. We'll see you on Sunday on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Don't forget, not only the pregame show, but live on the postgame show in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show on the field, live from Raymond James Stadium on New Year's Eve. Have a great night.